I'm singing. Oh, I ain't had no music. Y'all was in there? Y'all? Oh, I hadn't put no music on for y'all again. All right, I don't know why that's funny. It's funny to me. I'm sorry I didn't press the button. Y'all supposed to have entry music. I was singing. I'm singing. Steel Pulse, Your House. In a different situation. Ooh, I can sing to you before the music comes on. I can do that. This is an important song, right? It's called Your House. And there's and it fits with today in the asylum. You can't hear it because I can't let you hear it. Wait, is my mic on? I don't. That's the chorus. I don't want to live in your house. I don't want to live. I don't want to live. Actually, it says I want to live in your house. I'm saying I don't want to live in your house. I don't want to live in your house. It's the Asylum Sunday. Asylum Sunday. All right, let me cue the music. Let me shut up. No, you know what? Kobe, we need to talk about Kobe for a minute. We need to talk about Kobe for a minute. We need to talk about Kobe for a minute. And we don't need to talk about Kobe for a minute because it has nothing to do with Kobe. We have to process this, people. We got to chew it up, regurgitate it, spit it out. Anytime somebody dies, we got to make sense of it. People live for a reason. And if you're stupid, you'll never realize the reason. If you're stupid, you get caught up in the identity. We do this every time the war criminals die. Y'all should come hang out with us a little more. Anytime the war criminals die, we do this. All the praised war criminals. Yeah, you gotta feel sad for the people who are mourning, who feel the loss. But then you have to really look at the person's life and ask yourself those questions. So it has nothing to do with Kobe. It has to do with on Sunday evening in America, everybody goes crazy if somebody died. And for me, it was the evening because I don't watch the sports. I have no idea who Kobe is. But the funny part about it is you have no idea who Kobe is either. So no, I found out around 2:30 p.m. Somebody texted me, said Kobe died. And my first stop was, we did this before. We didn't die. How many times people done died that didn't really die? Morgan Freeman died, he didn't really die. Bill Cosby died, he didn't really die. There was a whole bunch of them. They faked, it was a pretend deaths. Because you got clickbait. I want to talk about clickbait too. So my first stop is Facebook. That's always that's my first stop. For anything. I don't watch the news, but when I start getting text messages that the people died in popularity time, the first people I ask is the people who don't never trust their government or their media. That's the first people I go to. Because you know what? In the thread, it just all went crazy. I think it's still going. I saw people liking and hating and yelling and screaming on the thing and praising Jesus and whatever. And I want to look at the thread for a minute because I think there are a lot of great examples of really horrible, stupid things to do when somebody dies. People, you don't know these people. You don't know these people. This is why I'm in the asylum. And Reagan did this. And this is, and I did not spell that wrong. I know y'all think I spelled asylum wrong. I didn't spell it wrong. I did not spell it. That's how it's supposed to be spelled. Asylum. Asylum. Why? Because we live in a forced labor colony called the West, where everybody's forced to work till they die. You're forced to work to get to your retirement. And retirement, the funny thing about retirement is the first step in freedom. That's the funny thing. The first step towards you being free, you don't get till you die. They literally linked it up with death. So you retire and it's associated with death. It's like a workhorse. You're like a workhorse. You get work till you die and you got to be proud of it. I'm working hard, pulling the sleds for master. We're doing a good thing. A lot of elites are like flying around in spaceships, y'all think of UFOs. But anyway, I'm gonna go through there. I'm just saying, because you hate Monday and you realize it's Sunday, and now you're gonna take out your pain and aggression on some entertainer who died, right? And so we gotta talk about this for a minute. I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna tell you a few things that I saw, and I'm gonna take you to the thread. That's why my thread is public, because I can put anybody on blast anytime I want to. I'm gonna show you the thread. Come on, everybody. How y'all doing? Reagan did this, y'all. This is all Reagan's fault. Didn't he close up the asylums? It was like 1980 something. He shut down all the asylums. 1871. I'm telling you, it's not profitable to take care of sick and mentally ill people when your government's a corporation and corporations are in bed with the government. They all making money together. Business to business, B2B, baby. So he had to close up the insane asylums. And now they're all out running on the street, yelling and screaming at Kobe and praising and loving Kobe. And half the time I'm just sitting back saying, people, you don't know Kobe. You don't know. You don't know him. Well, I don't watch sports. I don't watch sports, and I don't watch politics, and I don't watch entertainers. I don't know those people. I don't know. I don't know them from a can of paint. But apparently a lot of people on Facebook do. They just know him. They know him up and down. They know he's a good person, bad person. I just sit back and say, you know what, let's look at the person's life and let's make some decisions about in how they lived and how they died. What are the disastrous parts? What can we fix? Because the people who are like taking out Monday aggression because they realized it was Sunday, they got to work the next day on Monday, got to go to slavery. Those people, you're not hurting Kobe's feelings, like, because apparently there was the whole rape trial thing, and you're not hurting his feelings. That you're not gonna hurt his feelings. And besides that, if that's making you feel good, let's break it down. I like psychology, and it's always about psychology. It's disaster capitalism. I'm not saying don't hate on Kobe. I'm not saying don't mourn Kobe. I'm just saying let's process this and ignore the Kobe. Kobe has nothing to do with this. Hang on, let me flip the music. Let me flip the music because I want to jump right into it. I started late this morning. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? So I want to process and break down when someone dies. And there are a couple key things I saw in this, and hopefully you will agree or you won't agree. But I don't really care if you do or you don't, because I care. Thinking about that this morning. When people care, they actually don't care if they're wrong. Right? When people actually care, they care if they figure out what is right and do that. People who actually care are willing to be wrong. They'll be wrong all day and night. But the people who don't care, they ain't never gonna be wrong. You ever notice that? People who don't care, they're always right. Their group is right. But boy, the people who care, they can be humbly wrong because they're in the game for the passion for the people, those who are being hurt most by whatever they're fighting. They're not in it to be right. They're not in it for their Republicans or their Democrats or their political party or their Trump or whatever. And this is where it's going to lead me into clickbait, but I do need to talk about the Kobe thing. Clickbait. Ooh. To me, what clickbait is when you send me an article and it's got the name Trump in the heading, but you're talking about a systemic problem. That's clickbait to me. I know you thought clickbait was when you saw a bunch of boobies and a guy with some six packs, and that's clickbait too. That's disaster capitalism. You click on it, you don't get what you need, but they sell you something through the advertisement. They make money from you clicking. So I don't click on any title. I see you got a systemic problem in Obama. You got a systemic problem in Trump. You got a systemic problem in Bernie. A systemic problem in Warren. A systemic problem in any of these people. I don't click because the problems are systemic. They're not identity. They're not personal. When someone puts the name of Trump, and he's just the one come lately, when they put the name in the title of the article and it's right in the URL, that's a good thing I can see it because I ain't gonna click because I already know you're using politics and you're talking about a real problem. And there are no political solutions to the real problems politics cause, which is part of why the whole Kobe thing happened. So it all links together. But to me, that's clickbait. I never click on clickbait because you've decided that you hate Trump. So you've decided that you're gonna take every systemic problem and not fight it. You're gonna just say, well, all the problems are him, but that's that Sunday night Ass-sylum aggression. Ass-sylum aggression. You don't wanna go to work Monday. We don't wanna go to work Monday. But I saw the other side do it with Obama not too long ago. Same damn thing. Every time something go right in their life, Obama done did it. Clickbait. Don't be fooled by clickbait, people. Don't be fooled at all. Hold on. Let me see, where are we at? Oh, okay, I was ranting, we're talking. Kobe, yes, I thought I heard something knocking. That's weird. Y'all believe in ghosts? I believe in ghosts. That was creepy. Somebody knocking on my door. It's a little early. Anyway, we'll get back to it. Clickbait. Don't fall for the clickbait. But it's the asylum that we live in. Let me change the music. That broke my train of thought. But we live in an asylum, people. We live in an asylum. I think that was a sump pump. We had a lot of rain this weekend. It just wasn't raining nonsense on my thread. So I give you my take on the whole Kobe thing. And it's outside Kobe, because I don't know him. I don't know him at all. I don't know him at all. The few entertainers I know, I actually know. I talk to them. I text them. I call them. We go places together. I know those entertainers. The ones in Hollywood, the other, I don't know them. But I don't follow them. I don't really care. I don't really, I used to play football. I used to play basketball all the time. I used to love that stuff. Nothing wrong with loving that stuff, but don't pretend to yourself that you know these people. You don't know these people, nor do you know what's allowed to be known about these people. So let me go to the thread, because we're gonna have to do this the same way we did McCain. We gotta process this. Who you gonna call? Lori's asking. Well, who you gonna call? Who do I call? Anytime this stuff happens, the first question I want to know is it real? Like, did this really happen? And apparently, it did happen. Right? That's the first question, because I usually come to my people online when something happens because they are the most questioning, they're the most critically thinking, they're the most conspiratorial people I know. And I can ask a question and shortly I'll know the answer. So, I think some people were saying, well, first of all, did he die or didn't die? I'm pretty sure that he did. Not because the news says it, but because my friends say it. A lot of my friends live in California. If anything smelled suspicious in the media, they would have told me. I'm gonna take you to the question. Oh, now you got a lot of jokes on the thread now, because I had to, after yesterday, I had to make some jokes. When people die, you're not gonna hurt their feelings. You're not gonna hurt their feelings. But anyway, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that he did die. And unfortunately, I think that's pretty confirmed, not on NBC, ABS, CBS, CNN, any of that, but on the people I trust, because they always question what comes across the media, and they fact check, and they got a lot more time than I do. So he did, and it sounds like one of his daughters died too, and I think she was 13. Horrible, horrible tragedy. Horrible tragedy. Horrible tragedy for a child to ever be taken from this planet. It's a tragedy any time a human being leaves this planet. For us, not for them. Everybody's sitting here for a specific reason. So, let me see. I forget fear, Hillary, while I try to pull this up. Fear what? Well, people are scared to go to work Monday, so they find entertainers who die to blame it on. They find politicians they don't like to blame. The fact that they're not happy in life, the fact that we have it. If you really want to fix society, people, you got to focus on the systemic problems. Hang on. I want to show you my thread. No, that's not it either. Hang on. I want to show you the thread because it went all kind of nutso. It was, a lot of things didn't make any sense too. Oh man, a lot of things didn't make sense. So anyway, I'm pretty sure that the young man did not make it. First thing that bothered me, everybody knew Kobe was on the plane. Everybody knew his daughter was on the plane. Nobody was talking about anybody else. That bothered me. And it bothered me about me too. It was just like, well, wait a minute, because there were other people and there were other kids. There was another basketball player, I think they said, and his kids were on the plane. And like, I was thinking about how would I feel if that other guy or gal, whoever was the other player, how would I feel if that was my husband or that was my wife or that was my uncle or that was somebody I knew? Like, dang, everybody's talking about Kobe. Like, doesn't human life matter? Like, why is everybody just worried about him? And so now I go to Instagram, getting all these pictures of Kobe and his daughter and all this stuff. And it's just like, wow, that's dark. It's kind of dark that we're only worried about Kobe. And of course, the way my mind works, then I started thinking about the people in Iraq who don't want America there, protesting in the streets, people getting trampled. They had the 1 million man march in Iraq. They don't want to be invaded anymore. They never did to begin with. Let's be honest about that. How many people die every day in helicopters we shoot down? How many people die every day in the buildings we crush? In America, we got this sense of apathy. In the West, they teach us on the plantation to really only give a damn about certain few select people and ignore other people. That popularity contest, the popularism, that disaster capital nonsense. So that's the first thing. I feel bad about it. So I'm not talking about any of y'all. If y'all were the ones posting, I'm talking about me. I was thinking like, dang, like here we are, because we're a community. We're all one energy. And we're talking about Kobe and his daughter and ignored everybody else on the plane, ignored everybody else. But but this isn't the only indicator of the sickness of the Ass-sylum. Canoba virus? Canoba? That was, no, I messed it up. Karaoke virus. Karaoke virus. That's another thing. People get upset and these things happen. We need to be scared of karaoke virus. And I'm like, you actually sound like a karaoke. Because I think about other things. And I'm just like, well, man, we're worried about the 2 people that died from karaoke virus. What about the women that got breast cancer? People dying right now. People in the hospital are dying right now. Profitable products that are poisoning the population in the thousands, hundreds of thousands. What about the people with autism? What about Alzheimer's, dementia, ALS? What about all those other things? But now we're all worried about karaoke, Canoka virus. Something wrong with us. Something is wrong with us. And I think it's the TV or the asylum. 1871 is not profitable if you are a corporation pretending to be a government and the people are actually worried about what's killing most people, like cheddar cheese and sugar. No, the cheddar cheese lobby is powerful in Washington. Nope. The sugar lobby too. And I got to get reelected. So hell no, we need to focus the population on things that probably don't matter. The other thing that bothered me with the Kobe thing was the whole rapist thing, right? The whole rapist thing. So of course, people had to bring up the rapist thing. And you know what, like I said, I don't follow these people. I remember the trial, and I think I remember bits and pieces of information. And I think the bit of the piece of information that stuck with me was the underdrawers. I don't call them underwear, I call them underdrawers. Because that's just me. I'm weird, man. I like to, I like to talk the way I want to talk. I don't care how you talk. I don't care about your King's English. Underdrawers. And so the underdrawers that the young lady had didn't it have multiple types of semen from multiple different types of basketball players and whatever? Didn't it? All right, so I'm gonna be clear. People want to join sides. Remember, I don't do teams. I don't care nothing about your teams. Know your sides. I just look at information and I try to process it. So to me, and I live in a world where young girls want to be famous. They want to run with these basketball players. They want to run with the politicians. They're born in an artificially scarce society where being popular makes money, right? And so just like how you got these little girls in the Philippines becoming hookers to buy biscuits, you got American kids who want to run around with the pot. Like, why would a girl stand there and get peed on by R. Kelly? Think about that. Think about the wise thing. Who was the wise comedian who said, by the age of 14, no, it wasn't a comedian. That was Aaron Magruder. Which is why he is not on TV. The brother said way too many true things and they had to throw him off of the television. So he said by the age of 14, I feel like you know how to move out the way when something bad is coming. He says, I see P coming, I move. She called P coming, she stayed. If I see P coming, I'ma move. Y'all ain't peeing on me. And I knew that by the age of 6. I knew P because it don't smell right. It just don't smell right. You ain't gonna pee on me. So why would a girl stand there and get a golden shower? Because maybe she's born in a country where if you're not popular, you die. Maybe if you're born in a country where you go to prison if you don't make money. Maybe because you're born and you don't get to live till retirement, which is your step towards freedom. Maybe because you're born in a monopoly game and you're not gonna have no properties nor no money to buy biscuits unless you do something that makes money. So that's why a girl would stand there and be peed on. Why would a girl go have sex with all these basketball players and turn around and say it's rape later? That's how my mind works, right? That's how my mind works. I don't think that it was rape in that sense because you had multiples and it happens all damn day. But there was a rapist. I'm not saying there's no rapist. There is a rapist in my mind. There is definitely a rapist in this scenario. It wasn't the basketball players and it wasn't Kobe. It was the system. It was a system that raises children in a monopoly game that started thousands of years ago and they ain't got a damn thing. And they don't have a choice. They gotta go get peed on. They gotta go have sex with multiple basketball players. Then while we sit here and pick a side and some people are jumping on her side in this thread and, but she's the victim and jump on his side. Well, he's a victim. And I'm just like, you realize they're both victims. There's a rapist. And it's called your society. The Ass-sylum, baby. Asylum. Oh, pop down. See, there you go. See? See, look, as soon as I talked about it, somebody there over there commenting that. This is why I like the people in my thread, because they jump in. Oh yeah, this was important. This was important. Anytime somebody comments, the thread jumps. But this was important. And another thing I want to clarify with this, when people like your post, it does not mean I agree with you. So some of y'all in the Ass-sylum, I do not agree with, but I appreciate you offering up your thought. Right? To me, it's a sign of respect. That's why I like posts. People like, well, you like that post? He's a Trump voter. You like that post? He likes Obama. You like that post? She said this. No, I like the post because I respect people and I love them. And this is a time we need to engage more in conversation and dialogue. All of our problems are systemic, people. All of them. None of them are politician oriented. None of them are about Trump. None of them are about Obama, none of them about Bernie, and none of those guys can fix any of it. Our problems are all systemic. When you live in a totally 100% corrupt society, you don't join any teams, you grow the hell up. You step back and you look at things from a systemic perspective, right? So the other thing about Kobe, and I've got last couple points and I'll read comments, is the helicopter crash. The helicopter crash. So these are things that I learned from his life, right? I learned from his life in that outside and never watching basketball. I have no idea who he is. I have no idea how many girls or daughters or anything that he has. Like I said, the entertainers I follow are the entertainers I know. The ones that I don't know, I don't follow. I don't care, mostly. I like to know people. If I don't know you, I don't really want to give you my energy. The helicopter crash, that's the other thing. Why helicopters crashing, right? No, we actually talk about this every day. This is literally, I'm just using the psychotic Sunday because y'all gotta work Monday and all the crazy comments on this thread to talk about it. And that is why helicopters crashing. And we know people seeing UFOs everywhere. And your government don't see nothing. They don't see nothing. Y'all asked Obama about that. Yeah, they see the, so what about, because they filed that freedom of information? No, it wasn't freedom of information. What was that called? It was called a, I don't know, he set up whitehouse.gov and y'all can send questions and he's going to answer all the questions of 30,000 people and you ask him about the aliens and the UFO. Knowing damn well, we ain't alone on this place, knowing damn well it's UFOs flying everywhere. But the government, and he replied like, I don't see nothing. Y'all seen UFOs? I ain't seen the UFOs. We got helicopters. We have technology that's 100 years old that falls from the sky and murders the people that you love the most. And you don't even know them. People you don't know, but and people that you hate. But why are we still flying helicopters? Because we're too stupid and we let our government have secrets. They obviously have anti-gravity aircraft, hovercraft, anti-gravitic device, whatever you want to call it, flying around. We have no business putting human life in helicopters anymore. People die because we're stupid. That's why people die. People die because we're stupid. So it all goes back to that. But those are the things that I kind of learned from this particular thread. I didn't read all the comments because it got a little silly after a while. Everyone talking about all the things they didn't know from somebody they never met. But this is what happens in an Ass-sylum, right? It's a tragedy when anybody dies. For the people who are left behind, not for the people that are gone. They move on to that other dimension, heaven, hell, whatever. They get reborn and come back. Oh, look, oh Lord, EMF. There's all kind of stuff happening. Oh, the theories. And that was another interesting thing. This whole idea. Oh, somebody tell me about this. This is creepy. The Comedy Central skit. Did you see that? There's a Comedy Central skit where he died in a helicopter crash. That's weird. I'll talk about that for a second. And then there was a Twitter post. Somebody posted on Twitter that he was gonna die in a helicopter crash back in like November or something like that. That's creepy. And it's not a conspiracy. That's, to me, what I look at when I see stuff like that, I think of, one, need to have an investigation. Because how do these people know what happened or was gonna happen? Two, it was just random. People post stuff and it kind of accidentally happened. Three, they posted it and then you literally told someone else what to do. I don't know if this was an intentional accident or not from the perspective of someone trying to kill them, but I damn sure know the government hiding technology killed them. So not only is your government, the system, not government doesn't exist. Government's us. It's the system that hides technology was a part of the crash, just as well as the system that raises little girls to have to sell their body and become popular to make money because we live in an economic system and every child is born into debt slavery. They were the ones behind the rape. But I find it weird. I don't know if these things are suggestive. You know what it made me think of? It made me think of 9/11. If you saw the 9/11 videos, that there were something like 100 cartoons that actually had the Twin Towers collapsing. Maybe we're suggestive in what we say and in like the copycat killer style or whatever, people will follow through and do what they see, maybe. I don't know. It's crazy. Maybe it's just that deja vu thing. People see the future and it becomes a story and they make a skit or post something or whatever because we see the future. But these are all reasons why we need to kind of pause in society in the Ass-sylum. A lot of things on this planet don't make any sense. But anyway, that's all I got. Let me do the comments now. But I just went down there and I thought it was kind of creepy. I mean, he seemed like he was a good guy based on what I saw, you know, but I don't know him. Y'all know him. You need to talk to somebody that knows him. You need to go talk to Facebook because apparently all these people know him. Yeah, there you go. There's a Twitter post right there with a guy. The guy said he was going to die in a helicopter crash. Weird stuff. Weird stuff. But then again, you know, it's Hollywood. You know, nothing that you know is true. Nothing that you know is true. You know, but we know prophecy is true. It's a real thing. People, you've had prophets since the beginning of time on this planet, right? So we know people know how to do prophecy. You got Edgar Cayce. There are people who see into the future. You know, they use these people for the police department sometimes to catch the poor criminals, not the wealthy ones, but the poor ones. So it could have been something prophetic, but I don't know who this is at .nosa. My questions with this, some people said, oh, it's prophecy. And you go down the thread, looks like they're saying it's well, you know, is a guy just throwing, or the guy or gal, whoever it is, just throwing stuff out there? Or was it someone who was like an Edgar Cayce or a Nostradamus, or, you know, someone who nailed various prophecies and they were obviously right? It's just someone just making posts all the time and actually got one of them right. So a lot of questions I have, but none of them are around the whole, you know, let's use Colby's death to gain some profit. I use people's death in a different way to be profitable. Because it still is disaster capital. I'm still capitalizing on the fact that somebody died. Why? Because I got a video right here and I'm talking about his death. But I want to talk about it from a perspective of, well, how do we prevent this from happening again? How do we, what was his life about? And I think it all goes back to the systemic problems in our world that we're not fixing. We're not fixing because we still are cheering all the clickbait and the nonsense. Yeah, Courtney, the world is a stage. The world is a stage, and we need to fire the actors. We need to fire not half the actors, all of them. Not one side of it, but all the actors need to get fired. The reason he died, the reason Prince died, the reason Bob Marley died, the reason JFK died, the reason they all died, and the reason why none of your presidents die in office that you claim are helping everybody. Because no good deed goes unpunished when your government's a corporation pretending to be a government. No good deed goes unpunished. And damn it, if you're good at doing good deeds, you're gonna die. That's just the reality of it. You know, Martin Luther King. Anybody who figures out the system and attacks the system, they don't get to make. If they're successful attacking the system, they die. And that should be like a clue to everybody to stop fighting with the other poor people. You know, you don't know these people. You never know what happened. Anytime children die, it's sad. Absolutely, Jennifer. Anytime a child dies, it's sad. Period. End of story. End of discussion. Like, well, how would you feel if, because I guess he had 4 daughters, somebody said. I honestly, I've only seen Colby play once. And that was when somebody used to take me to the Sixers game. That's actually the funny thing, the person just joined. Yeah, I don't do, like I said, I don't do sports. I like to play. I don't like to watch Men in Tights. Something about Men in Tights, and ooh, that brings up another important topic. Did y'all know that on, what's the name of that web, TikTok? It's a thing now. There's some science that came out and said that there are, oh, this was important. I had like a whole hour discussion on this yesterday. That there is taste buds and testicles. I didn't know this. Did you know this? Did you know that there are people in America in the Ass-sylum that are actually just putting their balls in soy sauce to see if they can taste it? This is why we don't need a government at this moment. This is why I don't trust nobody. Y'all never know who's like floating their balls in some lemonade, see if they can taste it. Anyway, I don't even know where that came to. I'm sorry, I try to take this stuff seriously. There's so many important, serious points there, but I'm just like, people, come on, really? Really, you gonna try that? Like, what does it matter? Why do you want to taste that? And why do you want to taste that way? I'm sure there's good biological, evolutionary reasons why this is happening. And you know, and of course, I started to begin to judge people. And I started thinking about the dumb things I did when I was young, and that we did. See, the only difference between the kids who were doing that dumb stuff now is we didn't get caught because we didn't have video. We didn't have, what are these things called? TikTok and Twitter and Pick the Chat and all these things. We didn't have that. Nobody could film you being stupid, and you can film yourself being stupid. You actually had a chance to make money without making a viral video of you looking like a somebody who is not going to get hired in the future because the interviewer is going to pull up your video of you soaking yourself in soy sauce or something like that. Anyway, Oh yeah, no, we're talking about football. That's why. Yeah, I don't watch football. I don't watch football because I don't watch. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see men in tights running around like chasing balls. That's not a thing with me. I got other things that I want to do with my life. I know the Super Bowl's coming up. I know it's important to y'all. Y'all should watch it. I'm not gonna watch it because I don't watch the Super Bowl. I don't watch any sports. I don't know who's playing. I don't really care. Okay. So balls. That's right. That's how we got the balls. That's why my mind's going places. I've never watched him play. Oh, right, but he had 4 girls. So he had 4 girls. That's what I'm told. If that's true. My friends haven't replied yet on Facebook. That's my conspiracy people. I take them with me everywhere I go. Literally, I'm in the garden. I take them with me. I got a question. Somebody send me something. I don't believe it till they say it. Till they say it and agree with it. And nothing, everything smell right in the news, CNN and Fox. Because half of them watch Fox, half of them watch CNN, the other MSNBC, and the rest of them, and others around the world. I always test the waters before I chime in. I take them with me everywhere in the garden. I take them. Half the time I take them with me. I'm on the toilet. They don't even know it. They don't even know. I just. But I have a question. Something comes to mind. I post it and they answer the question. So apparently he has 4 girls. They seem to agree on that. But how would you feel if you were one of those other 3? What if you were one of the other 3 and you lost your sister? How would you feel if you see people now attacking your father and your sister who just died? See, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you got to have a heart, people. Have a heart. Have a heart and understand that we are all avatars in this system. Whether you like the guy or didn't like the guy. The reality is he was a victim of this system that we live in. We're either trying to fix the system or wasting time blaming the avatars in it. Don't blame the avatar. Target the system. Don't worry about the presidents. You can ignore the presidents. We need a time of reasoning. I think I posted that earlier this morning and somebody didn't understand what I was saying. You need to reason more. When you know that everybody's lying because everybody wants to be popular, the only way that they can be popular is to lie or stay popular as a billionaire or trillionaire, you got to be lying about something. You don't get to be the president of the United States without having a lot of good lies. But you don't get to be a congressman or senator. You don't need to join a team in any. You don't stay popular unless you're telling lies. The only reason Kobe was popular is because Hollywood is good at lying. All right. The only reason everybody, all of them, from Spacey to Cosby to everybody else, Prince. I mean, think of the nicest ones you know. They got dirt. Everybody's got something dirty that's going to turn somebody off. The only way you get a massive audience is if you get good or you work on an industry that's good at hiding your dirt. An age of popularity. We got to stop with the popularisms, right? Disaster capital. That's a disaster that you got a lying government. It's a disaster that you got to be a liar to be a politician. But you don't need to have a side, is my point. You don't need to join a team when you know that everybody on all sides are lying. You need to be able to reason your way through what might be true, knowing that all the news is lying to you. It's all by the billionaires. It's like these NGOs and the World Health Organization and all of these. Do you think multi-billionaires will set up NGOs and organizations to fight multi-billion-dollar projects? Is that how your mind works? That's not how my mind works. I didn't grow up around the rich people. I know them. I know the riches. I know them well enough to know that now they're going to tell me what's true. I know they're not going to let it go out on the news what's powerful, what would take money out their pockets and their banks. No, you cannot believe. You got to get good at reasoning. Look at the situation and question and ask, does it actually make some damn sense? All right, that's all I got. That's what I learned from Kobe's life. And I didn't follow him, didn't know him, don't know his daughter. I just know it's a tragedy anytime somebody leaves here and we're either learning from their life or we're not. You know? And I don't see any reason to have animosities. He sounded like he's a good guy. A lot of people liked him. It's a shame, but we shouldn't we shouldn't live in a time when helicopters are falling from the sky, and we know that we got technology to stop that. We shouldn't live in a time where people are so popular they can fly in devices that the vast majority can't fly in because they can gain a lot of money from that popularity. We should have that equality. And don't crap on people's death. Don't do that. Don't do that. I didn't crap on George Bush when he died. I didn't crap on McCain. They are war criminals. It's true. But if I were born them, I'd be them. If I born Kobe, I'd be him. Okay? And so would you. Real talk. You born him, you be him, whether you like him or not. All right, anyway. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Brother Mark. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Kim. Have a great day. Blame it on Todd Church. What? Whoa, Mark, what you blaming on Todd Church? That brother just be dropping truth bombs. Have a great day. You all blame it on Todd. Well, people like to blame people. Blame is a thing, Mark. Once again, they're angry. They got to go to work Monday, so they're blaming Kobe Bryant Sunday night. That's what I saw, right? They're angry. They're at work Monday. They're not happy, so they blame Trump for the life that they lived, that he ain't got nothing to do with the life that they live. Everyone's got that blame thing. But to me, that's it's a real childish thing. It's a real childish thing where you look for somebody to blame. Because then the real problem that plagues you isn't going to get resolved because you fall into the game. You fall into the strategy of the system, which is to keep you blaming the side effects of the system, not the actual system. I don't do the blame game. I don't really care about who people want to blame in anything. I look at the system and, you can target all the entertainers and Hollywood people, rapists and this, that, and the other, and this. Everyone that you take out, a whole nother new one's going to be put in because the system is designed to put men in place where they can hurt little girls. And we shouldn't have a system like that. It's designed where they put women in place where they can hurt little boys or little girls, however you want to put that. Popularity. Dave Chappelle told you, stop worshiping your stars. Stop work. You don't know. Why would you worship something that you don't know? Well, then again, I guess you got people worshiping things from a book that was handed down to them that's been changed I don't know how many times over the course of history. And it's been proven. It was proven. Anyway, good morning, Brother Michael Mendoza. Low vibration work. Yeah, the mic is a low thing. Low vibration. That's a low vibration when you take somebody's death and you use it as a means to gain, I guess, power, something, or blame him, to make yourself feel good by pointing at other people. I think that's what you're saying. Makes sense to me. Good morning, Jackson. There was a golden shower episode in Sex and the City. Humans are sick. Yeah, Susan. Well, you know what? So, Susan, I'm not against golden showers, though. Don't y'all take me wrong. Don't tell you I know. That'd be low vibe. I'm not against golden showers. I'm just saying you ain't peeing on me. That's all I'm saying. I'm just how my mind works. If people grow up as adults, they become 26, their frontal lobe is working, they're not forced to do it to get popularity, to meet somebody who's popular, who should not be popular, in a time where we don't need, heroes and villains. When people want to get peed on for biscuits, that's a bad idea. If you want to get peed on because you're a freak, that's your business. That's not my business. Got nothing to do with me. I'm fine with it. I don't have any issues with that. It's just not me. R. Kelly is 1 trillion women. R. Kelly is one of trillions of insane humans. Yeah, Susan. Why not? Is it trillions? How many of us is it? Are we trillions? You mean billions, right? 7 billion of us. R. Kelly's R. Kelly. Kobe Bryant was Kobe Bryant. Gerard is Gerard. Susan is Susan. And we live in a system that compels us to do certain things. Good morning, Margaret. Good morning, Lori. Let me see. Grew up with babies and Disney princesses. Yeah, Lori, everybody wants to be a princess, right? Everybody wants to be a princess, but boy, when that princess dies, they'll find everything she did wrong. Everybody wants to be a prince. You have a system that enables you to be a prince by playing basketball, football, being a politician, leader, whatever. But boy, when that one dies, you're gonna have the monkey's gonna jump on this side or that side of the Ass-sylum. And but the reality is we build these dreams and kids chase them, and then people turn on them when they're adults. Now, I don't understand that. Maybe he faked his death to get out the spotlight. Kim, that would make sense. I'd probably do that. Yeah, it could have been. I don't know. Either way, if it's a Machiavelli type thing with what did they say, Tupac and the rest of them that did that, then it would make sense. Epstein all around. I don't think he's dead. It could be. Somebody said he was doing something he had some project, like some project with libraries or books or something and helping kids. And that kind of fits the model of somebody that you want to kill, right? It fits the model. If you have a corporation pretending to be a government, everybody keeps voting for it. That makes sense, because if you're trying to help children to whether be educated and critical thinking, and like if he's trying to set up his own little Department of Education, helping children to uplift themselves, yeah, that makes sense. The system would. That would make sense that the DNC and GOP would want him dead. They like the Department of Education. They've got their own. It's the Department of Indoctrination. If you're going to compete with that, then yeah, it makes sense. It's a good reason not to vote for these people. Local theater is terrific, better than the movies. Oh yeah, live orchestra is lovely. Yes, Rebecca, I love it. You know, Rebecca Costello, outside of you taking pictures of gators on the weekend, I posted something with gators. Did y'all see that? It was a gator and the girl, she was fishing, had her feet by the water, and the gator came up and she kicked the gator away. I'm like, somebody kicking gators away with bare feet. I thought it was Rebecca. I wasn't sure, so I posted to see if it wasn't her. And sure enough, she responded, posted. She out there playing with alligators in Florida. That's okay. It makes Rebecca happy. Now you see, I don't do gators. Now, Rebecca, I'm sorry, sis. I don't even know what you posted after that. I was thinking about gators and you and that picture you did, because everybody's posting fake pictures of gators, right? And you're posting real pictures because you're probably in your backyard. She swims with sharks, y'all. I forgot what you said. I'm sorry. That's what my mind does. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Yes, Christine, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe like we say things and then they happen. Not that people are prophesying them, but maybe they say it and then psychopaths go and do it. Or it just happens because you kind of put it out in the ethos and subconsciously we end up doing this or causing it to happen. Ooh, Christine, don't get me in crazy town. Do not get me in crazy town. I got people who have dreams and then they make those dreams happen. I'm convinced. I know one person who does that. And I think there are a lot of people out there like that. I think that mind over matter is real. I think the placebo effect is real. And I think there are people who can control matter out here and they have no idea what they're doing. So it's possible you could have somebody out there what is his name? Magneto? What's the superpower guy name? Who like thinks of something and it happens. I believe that's possible. I think there are people out there who are very powerful people who have no idea what they're doing and they're causing things to happen they see in the cartoons. That's very possible. Good morning, Douglas. Let me see. 6 buzzards sitting on the yard out back along with a dozen ibis. I know, off topic. No, Rebecca, it's on topic. It's on topic because you're living your life. That's right on topic. You're living your life. You're out there, and I joke about it. She got a tiger in her house, and I don't really say much about it. It's like a cougar or something like that. But, you know, she like crocodiles and swim with sharks, but you're living your life. And that's what we need to get back. We need to get back. We need to break down a system that encourages people to be peed on and chase superstars in order to survive, right? Everybody needs to live their life for them. You know, I'm not going to have crocodiles in my backyard, but if you want crocodiles in your backyard, you should. Encourage other people to chase their own unique life, not chase what billionaires need you to do in corporations with degrees so you can make money, so you can start living at retirement. It's not even living at retirement. Retirement, that's why I say it's step 1 in freedom. Retirement's not even freedom. Retirement is step 1 in you being free. You know, the system enslaves you for life. I just think it's psychotic that we call step 1 in freedom something that's associated with end of life. They treat us like workhorses. So no, that's right on topic. You got your ibis, you got your lake, your crocodiles, and you're enjoying life. And we need that for people at birth. I'm not saying we need to reduce the retirement age. I'm saying there should be no retirement. I'm saying nobody should tell you what to do from birth. I think it's a bad idea that children are born in debt to anything. I think that's stupid. Yes, and I got all of that from the Kobe Bryant accident. I do. Yes, I did. Why? Because of what's behind me. Let me turn that off. The asylum, Ass-sylum. We've literally designed an Ass-sylum. We're trying to roll out asylums all over the planet. No one knows him and anyone else for that matter. Exactly, Beaufort. Thank you for that, True. Literally, people don't even know themselves. I don't even know me. I'm still trying to find out who I am versus who they raised me to be. So nobody knows Kobe. Oh, it's such a sad, that's sad for the people that's laugh, but you don't know. You have no idea what he's up to, what he's doing. You know, he was a rapist. You have no idea. Were you not there? Were you there? If you were there, then you should have been in the trial. But that's what social media does to people. Disaster capitalism. We live in that popular time. Popularism pays. Why did the chapter go down? Kia asked. Kia, because we got a U.S. government that's hiding anti-gravitic devices, and we got over 1,000 whistleblowers who said that we don't need to fly helicopters, that they got craft that can levitate, but they keep them secret for the war effort to murder other people. So helicopters go down because they keep us on old Rockefeller, fossil fuel, dinosaur fuel and old technology, so we die. And this is why I'm saying there's no, who does the air? FAA does the air. You don't have an FAA. No, not when your corporation is your government, 1871, Act of 1871. When your government's a corporation, is literally profitable for the FAA to have airplanes go down. What if airplanes stop going down? Would you have an FAA? Did I say 3 A's? Now just think about it. It's like the war on cancer. Do you think that there's a war on cancer? Do you think organizations that make money from cancer existing are trying to get rid of cancer? Do you think people are literally trying to throw their retirement out the window? Thank you. Answer the question. Common sense reasoning. If you have an FAA and they make their money on airplanes going down, the airplanes aren't going to stop going down. That's just how it works out. You actually put free flying, levitating aircraft with anti-gravitic devices flying around, and airplanes don't crash and Kobe's don't die. But what profit is that? There's no profit in that. There's no profit in having an FAA that actually gets rid of its reason to exist. That's the problem with having a corporation as your government and staff pretending to be politicians of a democracy. They're always going to do what's profitable, and usually what's profitable is writing laws to make businesses out of things that the population wants to go away. That was a mouthful. You need me to re-explain that? I will, but I don't like to repeat myself. We talk about this every morning. So, oh no, local, that's what Rebecca said. Local, that's what she said. Dang, you messed me up with the alligators and the ibises and the things that want to murder you in your backyard. Right, local. So I used to go to local concerts. I don't even buy music, Rebecca. I don't even buy it. I don't even know who the big Babaloos are anymore. I don't really care. If I can't go see and listen to you do it, then I don't want to buy your music. Why? Because I don't want to make another person who might use the money I put into their pocket buying their album to rape people. I don't know, huh? If I know you and your local, I kind of might know, your uncle, your nephew. I might know your kids. I might know if you're a decent person. I might know if I want to invest in you. But if you're an international songwriter, I don't know you. I don't know what you're going to use the money for. It's like Christmas time, Rebecca. Everything needs to be local. It's like Christmas time. Everyone bought all this Amazon stuff. Amazon sent money all over the world. So Jeff Bezos made another couple $100 billion probably from Christmas time. And we're creating a Lex Luthor out the guy. We don't know him. And it's obvious in the media something wrong with this man. This man need this bed right here, right? It should have a little tag label right there. And it says Jeff Bezos right there in a nice safe place where he can't work with the damn Pentagon. Didn't the guy, he has over a $500 million contract with the people that are murdering more people than anybody on this planet, any organization ever in the history of time? Well, I don't know. I take that back. I don't know. Who's killed more? Good question. Was it the Pope or was it the Pentagon? Who did murder more people? I don't know. But Jeff Bezos has that. And so everybody's buying all this crap on Amazon, putting money in his pocket, making somebody who is extremely powerful, even more powerful, and he owns the Washington Post. Put all that together in a sentence. He literally owns the Washington Post, the paper that the majority of politicians read to know what's happening in this world. And this man is in bed with the CIA with a contract, an organization that makes money from burning nations, trafficking weapons, and starting the war on drugs in the United States by trafficking all the drugs and setting up the routes out of Mena, Arkansas, going back to LA. That makes sense? That's why I call it an Ass-sylum, because it smells like ass around here. Oh yeah, that's that chocolate oil. That's that chocolate smell. Don't smell like chocolate. Smell like somebody didn't wash their booty cheeks. And that's the time that we live in. We need people to go wash their booty cheeks. No, you don't need to complain about the Republican cheeks. You don't need to complain about the Democrat cheeks. You need to complain about your cheeks. I don't care about what happens in Iran. I don't care about that. Because our cheeks a little funky. We got the highest suicide rate in the world, I think, of children. We ain't got time to be worried about what anybody else is doing. But that's the craziness. So people need to buy local because you don't know who you're empowering. Michael Jackson, he was a rapist. No, he wasn't. He was a dude. He was a dude who could sing well. And as a child, he was one of these little people who had that ability to be charismatic, dance and sing. So his father realized what he could do. He could make a whole lot of money. He pimps his son out. So he put he put his son on television, got him singing with the guitar, and beat him if he didn't practice long enough. And old Joe made a whole lot of money because we bought the albums. We didn't realize that we should not be buying music from people who are in they're still sipping out of bottles. That you're going to make a psychopath out of the person, perhaps. So anyway, good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Mike. Funny how this happens on a day people are focused on the Grammys, entertainment, and Pro Bowl sports. Well, Michael, yeah, probably might be a distraction from war. Might be a distraction from all kind of important systematic issues like karaoke viruses. Same damn thing. Everybody's worried about that. They're not worried about the real diseases and plagues on the planet. They're worried about that because the TV tells them to. So, of course, the TV does a thing with Kobe, and everybody's worried about Kobe and his daughter. They forget the other little girl that was on the plane, and a little boy, and the other basketball player. I think they said it was 9 people on the plane. That's how we work. This is why I said, don't let TV set your day. Don't let TV set your day. And I'm not preaching to anybody. I'm sharing with y'all what I'm thinking about in terms of how my life works. I don't let the news set my day. I have things to do. This morning, I was transplanting some, I'm still on the Kentucky coffee trees. I was planting some mimosa puticas and some few other things now I want to get going. And I'll glance at what's happening on Facebook, my friends who question everything. I see Ty was thrown in prison again. That's a topic right there. Did y'all see Ty got thrown in prison again? Ty, you need to stop saying truthful things on the internet. So apparently Ty said something about Obama and I think they deleted all his profiles. I think he had to go make a new one or something. They deleted all his profiles because he criticized the president. And it was something true. I can't say it because it throw me out too. And my time is coming. My time is coming. Don't get used to this. Don't get used to this. You want to follow me? You need to follow me on all social media and then retreat to the website I'm building. But you're not going to follow because they're going to throw me. I like to say truthful things. And that's not allowed when NATO determines what's on social media in my country. It's not allowed. They threw Ty off again. He said something about Obama. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go again. Do you really want to build a world where you have a select group of people who cannot be criticized? Think about the long-term effects of that. I feel bad for the kids of celebrities. I do, Courtney. The celebrities that are alive and the ones that are dead. Why would you feel bad for them? They're flying on airplanes and helicopters. They got food, big houses, mansions. Why would you feel sorry for them? What Courtney understands is that she didn't actually want that. You do. She feels sorry for them because she knows when you give people that amount of stuff in a world where people have nothing, you turn those kids into monsters. Get that? And see what you watch television, and television is teaching you to worship those people and worship those things. And so you're doing everything you can to get those things and give your kids those problems. I'm not. And I don't think she is either, right? There's that old wise saying, live within your means. We got to live within our means. And Beaufort says there's no innocent people, and he's 100,000% correct. Nobody's innocent, and only innocent people can judge. But you say that, and of course you can't build a kingdom, unless you convince people that they're better than somebody else. Nobody's innocent. Nobody's innocent unless you're maybe 1 year old, and maybe you did something in your previous life. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But I agree with the statement. Nobody's innocent. Nobody can judge. Target to the party. Well, Patricia, that's your problem. You got life and things that you do. Blame isn't helpful, doesn't solve anything. No, Kim. Well, that's not true, Kim. That's fake news. Blame solves a lot of things. Look at America. Blame doesn't solve a whole bunch for the banks. Blame doesn't solve a whole bunch for the pharmaceutical industry. Blame doesn't solve a whole bunch for the water companies. Blame solves a lot. It's just never for the people being blamed or the people doing the blame. It's always for the billionaires who set up the system of the blaming. It's like we're living in a monopoly game. That's what I was thinking of, Kim. We live in a monopoly game, and some people are born at the end of the game, and people die from not having what we game about. Like in Monopoly, you cry, right? You know, you lose a game going upstairs. I was the youngest in the house before my little sister. So I cried a lot. I cried. My mommy and dad, they making all these properties. My brothers, ain't nobody care. I lose all my money in properties because I don't know how capitalism works. I wasn't good at apathy when I was that young, you know. But in Monopoly, you lose, you cry. In this world, you lose, you die. Born in the wrong family at the wrong time with not enough resources, you die. But at least Monopoly was a beautiful game, as Kim pointed out this morning. Because even with Monopoly, they tried. Because she reminded me of a hidden rule. And that rule in Monopoly is that you can actually go get a sheet of paper and do what the banks do. You can go get a sheet of paper and do what the Rothschilds do, the family does. You can get a sheet of paper and do what all the billionaires do. You can just write $10 and it's your money. And Monopoly money, you had a way out. America, you ain't got no way out. West, you ain't got no way out. Under central banking, you got no way out. It's death is your only way out. Monopoly tried. And also Monopoly tried. Who made Monopoly? Warner Brothers? Parker Brothers? Somebody like that. One of them brothers. Is the game ended when the bank ran out of money. Bank ain't run out of money. See, they saw that coming a long time ago. That's why Monopoly's a fake game. We don't live in a Monopoly world. Monopoly is a very empathetic game compared to what we got. The bank runs out of money, the game ends. It's all over. You get a whole new shot. Game ain't ending now. The game is endless. They print the money. That's why Yeshua Christ turned over the tables with the banks. All right, let me take a look and see if anything else is going on. We spent the whole morning talking about Kobe, but not talking about Kobe. Remember, I think that when you live about writing a book. I just had a title come to my head: Principle Driven Life. Is that a book yet? Anybody take that? Can I get fined for stealing an idea? Because that's after you had purpose-driven life. What if you had principle-driven life? Because the purpose was the whole religious one. It was trying to convince me, and I didn't need convincing back then. I believed the Bible was the breathed word of God. I give up 10% of everything I earn as a worker, working under capitalism and slavery, doing things for banks that Christ hated. But anyway. I forgot what I was gonna say. All right, let's see. Anything else in here? What we got? Let me make this defending Jeffrey Epstein. Oh boy, defending Jeffrey Epstein is women. Defending Jeffrey Epstein to defending Trump. I'm not sure what that is. Could be curious. Could be interesting to take a peek at. If I understand the title right, I would say. You shouldn't defend Trump, nor should you defend Jeffrey Epstein. But if you understand the system and the asylum that they're born in, you understand why they do what they do. And then you don't really have to go through the details, which is why I don't do politics. I laugh at politics. Why? Because I know why they do what they do. We have a system that praises them and empowers them for doing it. And until we attack the system, until we take down a system that praises and empowers them for doing it, there'll be a line of people waiting to be praised and empowered by doing it. Right? As long as you have a system that creates Obamas and gives them a platform to do it, and Trumps and Epsteins and Weinsteins and Michael Jacksons and everybody else, then they're going to do it. You can take down every single person that's peeing on children. There's going to be a line of people to pee on children. If they got the power to do it and no one cares, then they'll do it. As well as you got the children lined up to be peed on. That's the more important part, is the children lined up. Because they like food, they like biscuits, they like freedom, they like to have a house, and they want to have a life where they're free before retirement. Everybody's fighting for that early retirement. And you stop and ask the question, maybe it's wrong for you to have been a slave to begin with, to be born one. On Contact, I like On Contact. I have not watched that in a long time. People's History of the USA. Ooh, I can answer that. That's gonna be a short, I wish they were interviewing me on Contact. Can you give us a short history of the USA? Blood. Done. Thou shalt kill. Done. That's it. Done. That's it. What else you got to say? Steal land, kill people, steal what they got, do everything that Yeshua Christ told you not to do, and keep on in God we trust on the money. The fake money. And it's not even money. It's IOUs for international bankers. First ever double knock. Unbelievable. Must see. Double knockout? Oh, okay, I guess he knocked the guy out, got back up and knocked the guy out. Unbelievable must see. I don't necessarily think it's a must see. I see it all the time. We do that with the drones. It's called a double tap. They kill people, and then when the people come to save the babies and the kids under the buildings, they go and they tap the building again. And they get away with it all the time because it's not Americans that are dying. It's not Britons. It's not Canadians. It's people that they've convinced us our lives are worth less than ours. So when the Kobe Bryants die, we pay all attention to that and we forget about them. So no, it's not the first ever seen double knockout. We do that. And we do that so people will stop being firefighters and police and stop rescuing the people that we bury under the buildings because we want to steal the oil from their countries. Ooh, or dig up Gilgamesh. Oh, I was looking at that this weekend. Talking about how we went into the Gulf War because we found where Gilgamesh was buried. And we dug him up, and he had alien DNA, one of the earlier kings. We were talking, that was important to me. That was important this weekend. We were looking at the age of people, and I forgot all the context, but how all over the planet, they had different kings documented in like the Assyrian text, the Sumerian text, the Egyptian text, and in India, Sanskrit text, where kings lived to be thousands of years old. That was deep. That was powerful. We did a watch party on that, if I'm not mistaken. And that these people weren't crazy. They were meticulous. These were records that like just broke down methodically, like banking statements and how many cattle sold and farms and like taxes and right in those records, the Sumerian tablets, they explain who the Anunnaki were. They explained that there were kings that lived for periods of time. Most of the, I think the way she put it, most of the kings lived between 6 and 30 years, or they ruled between 6 and 30 years. And all of a sudden you had kings who were like ruled for like 1,000 years or 1,500 years. These weren't like myths. They were like methodically listed. We have a lot bigger problems. We have a lot bigger problems. But this is what I'm saying. We live in an insane asylum. But that's why I can't really like look at anybody's religious book and just be like, hey, this is truth because somebody handed it to me. You know, it's not true. There's so many things happening in this ancient past that we know nothing about. Nothing. Most people don't care. They got that hate and anger and aggression because you got Monday morning coming. All right, anyway. Blaming people, not the system. Ukraine has a Nazi problem and people are starting to notice. Oh, is it? Does it? All right, well, interesting. That might be something.
Gathering in Israel to make the anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, or mark the anniversary, I should say. The U.S. Vice President is going. So is Emmanuel Macron of France. Vladimir Putin is going to be there. Russia. Big countries, all the big countries, except one. Curiously enough, Ukraine. President of Ukraine, Zelensky, says no, he's not going. What gives? Here now, NRS correspondent Michelle Greenstein. Fascinating. Why is Ukraine choosing not to be at this very important meeting?
Right. It's the 5th World Holocaust Forum in Jerusalem, hosted by Yad Vashem, in commemoration, like you said, of the 75th anniversary of the liberation by the Soviet Union of the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky announced that his delegation will be giving up their seats so that Holocaust survivors could attend instead. Now, this is after reports that only 30 of these 800 seats were actually reserved for survivors. But Yad Vashem responded to this, and they said that this is not a public ceremony. This is a gathering of leaders, of world leaders. So still, Zelensky decides not to go. And in a tweet, he said this. He said, "We learned that many of the Holocaust survivors have not been able to visit the World Holocaust Forum. Our delegation gave them our seats, as many Israeli ministers did." But Yad Vashem actually responded to this again in a statement. They said, "It was explained to the president that we have assented to survivors who approached us in recent days. Therefore, his decision is puzzling, and it's a pity to take such a step in an event titled Remember the Holocaust." So they're saying that this is not an event for Holocaust survivors, it's for world leaders. So they say his decision was puzzling. But some are actually calling this a strategic move. They say that it could be the Ukrainian president's attempt to make appeals to the right wing in his own country, to appeal to these Western Ukrainian nationalists so that he can maintain his own domestic support, right?
Let me stop you there because you're using words that I think are going to go over people's heads. When you say Western Ukrainian nationalists,
Sure.
Can we say neo-Nazi?
It's certainly been called that, for sure. I mean, as we know, the far right has been on the rise.
We're talking about a guy who's not going to a Holocaust exhibit. Meanwhile, there is a history in his country of ties or collaborations with Nazis, not only during World War II, but some would even hint that not so...
In very recent history.
Yeah.
In fact, the far right, these, fascist, nationalist, neo-Nazi tendencies have really been on the rise ever since the Washington-backed coup of 2014. What happened, as we know, was an uprising, right? It's been called the Maidan Revolution,
Right.
which ousted then President Viktor Yanukovych. And U.S. politicians, as we also know, kind of triumphed this. They declared it a victory for democracy, and they smeared all the reports of the ultra-nationalism, of the far-right violence, as just Russian-backed propaganda.
Yeah.
But now we're starting to see that it may have not been Russian-backed propaganda, because over the past few years, we've really seen this fascist movement reemerge. We've seen the growth of extreme right-wing parties like the Right Sector and Svoboda.
And, you know, it's interesting because Ukraine is in the news in our country right now every single day. Kind of puts a different face on what we're hearing every day, because what we hear is, oh, poor Ukraine, they're such wonderful people, they're victims.
Right.
And this kind of puts, you know, just gives us a little perspective. One more thing.
Sure.
I understand there's a revelation about a Ukrainian historic figure?
Yes, a Nazi collaborator. So here's how we tie this all in. Both the Right Sector and Svoboda, which are the parties that I just mentioned, associate with a man called Stefan Bandera. This is a man who collaborated with Nazi Germany and is responsible himself for many atrocities while he was the head of the Ukrainian insurgency army. In fact, Petro Poroshenko, who was, installed by this US-backed coup, is both sympathetic to these neo-Nazis, having gone as far as naming a street after Stefan Svoboda, which was only renamed last June. In fact, just this month, Rick, hundreds of people gathered in a torchlit march in the capital to honor this man for his birthday, which is why it's significant that just this week the CIA declassified a report from 1949 that shows that the CIA considered Bandera a member of a terrorist organization and calls him probably the most important Ukrainian nationalist leader today. Here's what else they say. He was a member of the terrorist organization of Ukrainian nationalists and was involved in the assassination of the Polish Minister of the Interior. So this is by itself not news. We knew he was part of this organization, but this revelation is significant because it shows that the CIA knew in 1948 this man who had a tactical relationship with Nazi Germany. They knew he was a terrorist as far back as 1948, which you may know was while Nuremberg was going on, and he was allowed to live free.
Great stuff. Thanks for tying it all together for us. It kind of makes a little bit of sense, and actually makes a lot of sense.
It always makes sense. It makes perfect sense. And it's never new. It's never new. I agree with that, but it's never new. Why you got Nazis in the Ukraine? Same reason you got Nazis in the United States. Why you got Nazis in London? Same reason why you got me in the United States. Hate is a side effect of a system. And nobody wants to fight the system. Nobody wants to remove the system. They want to keep the system, which means they're going to keep the hate. You're always going to have somebody hated in a system where the majority tells the minority what to do. So you're always going to have the hate. And that's just real talk. Like, once again, unless you're fighting the root cause of the problem, you're wasting everybody's time. That's why I don't really, I watch the news and I look for something new. It's the same thing. Same exact thing. Besides the fact we are not allowed to be honest about World War II. We're not. Was Hitler a psychopath? Hell yeah, he was. Was the other side a psychopath? Yeah, they were. But the reality is a lot of that had to do with banking more than anything else. And we all got bank accounts. And so there'll be limited discussion on real history of World War II. I'm not even going to go into it. A lot of people will post stuff on it. I just leave it alone. I leave it alone. All I tell people is just go ahead and do your reading. You're not allowed to talk about these things on social media. You go out on the internet, there's still websites that will tell you the history of World War II, how it got started with actually there was no World War II. It was actually one world war. There were just two parts to one world war. But they're not going to teach you that in history, and you damn sure ain't going to talk about it on social media because those days are gone. Obviously, Ty proved that to you by having every single profile deleted. Or not deleted, I think it was banned for 30 days or something. They're not allowed to talk about that stuff, so I'm not even going to get into it. The bottom line is if you want to fight hate, you need to work on your love. You want to fight hate, you need to figure out why people hate. Because you're always going to have a psychopath at the top, but you'll have a lot of people underneath him that thinks the psychopath is right. So all you got to do is take away the person's right. Why do they hate you? I can always deal with it from the perspective here in America. Why do people hate me? Oh, they hate me because of my skin. Okay, so why they hate me because of my skin? Well, because television tells them that you're monkeys and you jump around and you fight and you shoot and you're lazy and you don't like to work. Well, I say, okay, wow. I ain't never shot anybody. Lazy. I got my first job when I was 8. I'm more of a slave than anything else. Been Jamaican ever since. It was a time when my kids were born. My first son was born. I had 3 jobs. Shoot, I used to work I used to work overnight as a computer operator. During the daytime, I'd sell aerial photos and I would sell frozen meat. And I was still going to school. I think I used to sleep like 3 hours, 4 hours a night. I never had a day off, you know. But people don't know that. They watch TV, and then the left believes the TV, the right believes the TV. And by the way, the right and left ain't got nothing to do with hate. They all got who they hate. There is no good side. There's no good and bad when you have a corporation as a government. You got side A and side B. That's all you got. And you have people with identities, and those identities are almost perfectly matched to a side, telling them what they want to hear for that particular time to make sure none of them can actually affect their world. You know, so how do I deal with hate? I met my first Ku Klux Klan person when I was, how old was I? 22 maybe, 23, something like that. Anyway, I saw a lot of them. I mean, no, okay, that's not true. I think I met when I was selling the frozen meat and the aerial photos mostly. The frozen meat, not so much. We used to have a little call center, and they'd send us out to sell a full food freezer. We would sell you a whole year worth of meat or half a year worth of meat in a freezer, and they're like, "You're a vegetarian now." Listen, 1871. you gotta do what you gotta do. But this is how I was getting through college. And I'd go to a door every now and then with the aerial photo company, because aerial photo was like cold calling. You just go up to the door, helicopter fly over, take a picture of their property, and we'd sell the picture. Like, "Hey, would you like to buy a picture of your house with the backyard, front yard, in a frame?" And they'd almost always buy it. So I used to run into a lot of racist people who hated me. But I actually made a lot of friends with some people like that. You just show them, hey, you're hardworking, you're this, that, and the other. What's on TV is not true. That's how you kill hate, is you take away its power. Its power is ignorance. When you take that away and they realize that you're not that person, that hate starts to dissipate, and you don't get people rallying behind somebody who's yelling and screaming things that aren't true, who think they're right. And that's the most important factor, is understand they always think they're right. Everybody thinks they're right. For the most part, they're right. All the experience and data that they have created a life that tells them that they're correct and they're doing the right thing. And either you're going to destroy that with information and facts and get to know them so they'll know you, or you're going to yell and scream at them at the other side of the protest, proving that they have good reasons to hate you. And after that, I think the first like real Klan guy I met, it was at a protest. It was about children's rights and child protection and all of that nonsense. And because I organized it, and I was helping everybody with their signs, and I was doing literature and going and talking to the politicians, this guy, he found it hard to hate me. Like I was fighting for his right to be a part-time father. And he found it hard to hate me. So we met rally after rally after rally. We became MySpace friends. I remember MySpace. I was my first Klan friend on MySpace. I'm too grown to worry about people who hate me. I don't know why people worry about that. They get a hooping and holler about the Nazis. The Nazis got a plight, and when you get rid of that plight, they go away. The Black Panthers got a plight. You get rid of that plight, they go away. The Ku Klux Klan, the skinheads, the Bloods and the Crips, they all got plights. Just look at everybody's plight. What's wrong with the Bloods? Well, they're born in a community that's not safe. They didn't have a whole lot of money, so they joined the gang. And that was probably the right thing to do, unfortunately, because they live in a country where people don't give a damn about them. So you can fix that by just giving them what they need, opportunity. And then people stop joining up. When you convince a kid that they can live a good life without joining a gang, they'll do that. But you convince them that they got to join the Klan or the skinheads or something to make money, or to have safety and freedom from the people who took it all, which is not the banks, but the brown people. And that's exactly what they're going to do. But people don't use common sense anymore. We use ego and aggression and anger and attack side effects. Anyway, anything else important in here? Y'all got anything y'all want to look at? Ouchie, Bernie Burns, socialist, Jamie Dimons, hypocrisy. I'm not interested in politics, so I'm not. Bernie's going to do what Trump did. Trump did what Obama did. Obama's going to do what Bush did. Bush did what Clinton did. It's not even a thing. If you're not in the United States, don't watch the news here. You'll realize how really lost people are, and understand the system is the problem, not the people. Ignore the clickbait. Besides the fact, when I see that as a headline, I don't even want to click, because I already know that somebody's using political capital. Someone's probably trying to take a systematic problem and making it political because they want Bernie to win or they want Bernie to lose. And I don't really care. If you cared about the systematic problem, you wouldn't have to mention Bernie. Think about it like that. That's why they mention Bernie, because they want you to click. You know, they need to make money like newspapers need to make money. That's what we started talking about earlier about clickbait. To me, clickbait is the minute that you attach Trump to any systematic problem. The minute you attach Obama to any systematic, the minute you attach America to any systematic problem, the minute you attach the Ukraine to any systematic problem, the minute you attach the Nazis to any systematic problem, I already know that you're in it for emotions, you're in it for power, you're in it for votes, you're in it for because you want my intellect, you want my energy, and I'm not going to give it to you. If it's a systematic problem, just talk about the problem. Like I said, people who care, they talk about the problem, and they're willing to be wrong. They're willing to be wrong, arguing a side effect, and realize, oh, okay, so the problem in politics, okay. And we are so far past politics and what's wrong with the United States. Everything is at a system level, everything. And so you need somebody to write a book called The Principle-Driven Life. That's what we need. We need principle-driven people and principle-driven life and people who actually care. I come on here every single day and be wrong as I can if I got to. Because I actually care. I don't really care if I'm wrong. Like, oh, you're wrong. Like, thanks, appreciate it. Like, you're not upset? No, why would I be upset that I'm wrong? I actually care. I actually want children to have food. If I say there's something that's incorrect, then correct me. You know, that's why I don't spend much time on the Federal Reserve Act anymore, because we discovered 1871, which, by the way, we didn't get to talk about this weekend with Brother Tony, because he also was thrown off of Facebook. I knew that was coming. Oh, did I know that was coming? I'm sorry, Tony. It's probably my fault. That's why I don't really mention when I'm coming on. I probably shouldn't say anything about who I want to talk to or interview, because I'm going to tell y'all a little secret. We were about to go live. What do we say? 7 o'clock. I was running a little late. Tony sent me a message. Hey, it's time to get going. So 7:08, I went and got set up. We were about to do live stream, and he didn't respond. What the hell? Tony, where you at, brother? Tony, hey, Tony, we're supposed to do this, right? I have a slightly bigger audience than Tony, slightly. And and sure enough, I'm like, all right, he stood me up. Guy stood me up. Our first date, Tony stood me up. We was gonna talk about 1871. We started by Federal Reserve, but now we realize 1871 became before the Federal Reserve. And we was gonna talk about that. He did a great video on it. But of course, just before we started the interview, when he was requesting, hey, let's go ahead and get started, they blocked him. Do you think that's a coincidence? I don't. Do you think it's a coincidence most people go to Facebook jail on Fridays and most of the activity on their site happens on the weekend? Come on, man. System. It is just the system. So anyway, what else we got? Anything else important here? But that's clickbait. To me, that's what clickbait is. I don't click on things that you've already told me the problem is connected to a politician before actually telling me about the problem, right? Because when you attach a systematic problem to a politician, you're telling me the solution is to get rid of that politician and keep the systematic problem. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Like the whole water problem, the water problem is not due to Trump and cutting out regulations. It's not. It's not. I am a firm believer in no regulations. That's one of the things Trump said I totally agree with. We need a hell of a lot more laws. We need to delete all of this nonsense, if you ask me. But we need to do it in a methodical way, right? We need to help people to not have to work for chemical companies so they're not dumping things in the water. You know, we need to have to help people to not work for fracking companies, right? And that was the Obama side. Trump's not spoiling the water. The water's been spoiled. It's been poisoned from the very beginning, right? And when Trump wasn't doing, Obama was doing it. And to me, it's not normalizing it, as some people think. Because they're right when they say that. You know, like when you say stuff, it automatically makes you a voter for the other side. They're right when they say, well, just because he's doing it, don't say my person did it. That's normalizing it. And they're right. They're right. There are people who will say, well, Trump doing it, yeah, but Obama did it. And they're right. That's an ignorant position. Absolutely 100% right. But then there are people who say, well, every president does. Why is that? 1871, every president does. Why is every president pissing in our drinking water? Somebody poisoned the water hole. Y'all remember Woody? Why is every president poisoning our water hole? Well, because our government's a corporation. You can take the guy out all you want. It's not going to change. It's steadily going to get worse. You know, according to talking about Russia, if it's not somebody else, it's Russia. If it's not Russia, it's the aliens. If not the aliens, I don't know, it's somebody. Somebody's always somebody to blame. It's never us. Nope, never us. Oh no, hell no, it's not us. Not the Democrats. It's not the Republicans. Oh, ain't never us. It's always y'all. You know, and to me, I learned that about the age of 6. You know, you don't get to get away with blaming other people. I had a father with a leather belt and a buckle. You know, the guy who lived in Maryland should have lived in Texas. He had one of them metal belt buckles, and that thing hurt. Yeah, I learned blame game don't work too well. I learned at my age I don't lie that well. That's a good thing why politicians don't lie well. A lot of people see through the nonsense. But like I said, there are people who want your capital. They want your energy. They want your like. They want you to join their team. And I'm just not a team person. You know, when all the problems are systematic, you need to focus on the system and completely ignore the politicians. So anyway, that's clickbait to me. That's why I don't click on that stuff, because I don't really care what they have to say. If you've already told me you want to make a systematic problem political, you're faking the funk. You're faking the funk. And I don't have time for faking the funk. I literally got basil I got to be planting. So I don't have time for faking the funk. That's more important than everything you talk. You're trying to get these kids to stop putting their balls in hot sauce. Because you know that's coming next. You know that's coming next. I can't believe, is that true? Somebody posted a link. Is that really true? That testicles have taste buds, and do the women's side do too? Is that real? Because I don't know. They make this because you know hot sauce is coming. Somebody gonna put them in the wasabi sauce. They're posted. Somebody gonna put them in. Somebody gonna die. That's what's gonna happen. Somebody gonna die, and that's just a bad way to die. I don't think that's a good way for children to die, because we live in a world where the parents can't seem to stop and fight fake news. That we're gonna let this happen. Is that real science? If they got taste buds, they're not. I got a scientific mind, and I'm like, why? But I have a spiritual mind too, and I'm like, why, God, would you do such a thing? And this is where you start to get in trouble. Like, oh. Nope, I'm stopping. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. I almost did it to myself. I'm not doing it. No, because my mind is thinking, why do they have? Is it because of the taste and the is that why? Okay, yeah, I got that. That's why we like that's delicious and nutritious. I get that. Now, let me stop. Let me pull up. Ooh, my cell phone battery's down, so I'm about to get out of here. Yeah, I don't see anything important in here. And I'm not going to talk about ball juices and taste and stuff like that. No, they can't have no taste. I just thought about that. No, they can't have no taste because that's nasty. Oh, those are the worst things on the planet. Nope, I don't think they do. I think that's probably fake news and somebody going to get hurt because it's the new thing on TikTok now, I guess. So what else we got? Are U.S. troops occupying Iraq? Massive Iraqi march. Do we have to ask that question? If you have to ask the question, then we got a problem. System down. Do you have to ask the question, are U.S. troops occupying Iraq? Come on, stop playing. They never asked for your troops to go there to begin. If you got home and I was sitting on the sofa with an assault rubber band, some paper wads, yeah, I'd be occupying your sofa. I'd be occupying your house. If I don't live there, then yeah, that's a problem. That's an occupation. Now, you didn't ask me to come, you asked me to leave, and I stayed on your sofa with my feet up on your coffee table, watching your cable TV, then yeah, that's an occupation. I'm occupying, and I'm gonna shoot you in the forehead with my paper wad if you get in the way. Them things used to hurt when I was a kid. You know what I'm talking about? I can't say gun. If you say gun, then it's like, yes, a threat. Ban them from Facebook. You gotta be very careful what you say on these things. We gotta come up with code words for everything. All my friends going to prison, all of them. Incarceration rate on Facebook is through the damn roof. Anyway. Oh yeah, we were seeing if there's anything else important. Yeah, of course we're occupying. That's what we do. We're colonizers. That's what we do. That's all we do. We steal land, steal resources, and we fight each other in between stealing everybody else's land and stealing resources. That's what America's for. It's just doing a great job at what it was designed to do. I don't believe in the whole politics. I'm not a flag worshiper. That is not me. I'd love to have a flag I could have allegiance to. Unfortunately, I know who owns that flag, and those people don't even live in America. The country was literally bought in 1870. Well, no, it was bought. I don't even know when it was bought. That's the damn stupid thing about it. Like, why would you vote for a government you don't even know when they were bought? Because we fight. That's all my friends and I fight over. We fight over when was it bought? Was it 1913, 1933, 1871? Who bought? When did they buy America? Those are the only debates that we have. Y'all are fighting over, which slave on the plantation gets to go to which bushes and which political parties get the best drinking, the best poison drinking hole and gets the best shacks that are falling apart. I think that's a dumb idea. If you know you live on a plantation that was purchased, act like you're a slave. Fight for your freedom. Don't sit there and let other people fight for it. Or your slaves are going to be, or your children are going to be slaves, even worse slaves. They ain't even got the AI robots yet. Bill intro to protect female athletes from transgender. We're gonna have to watch that. We are gonna have to watch that. That's important. That is so important. I don't know why y'all care what somebody wants to be. I don't get that. I don't get that. I respect everything you want to be. Say, well, I'm not gonna call him a woman if he wants to be a woman. Why wouldn't you do that? How you know? If you don't know you, how you know them? You damn sure don't know Kobe, so you don't know this person. If they want to be called a dolphin, I'm fine with that. You want to be called Bigfoot? I'm good with that. Yeah, I had a child once who wanted to be called Elmo. I called him Elmo for almost a damn week. Why do I care? Why do you care what other people want to be called in the lives that they're living? Oh, I gotta watch this because people trip off of this stuff right here. I don't understand why. Leave people alone.
Every day, Casper is delivering
God
better
doesn't make
sleep
no junk.
to
God
more
made
nurses.
everybody. Okay, if God made you with a brain that doesn't like you with the soy sauce and the bald thing and you want something else, then that's perfect. Then we should use whatever medical science we have to give you a better life, and everybody should go along with it. The crazy thing to me is people have to live lives that's a lie. That's foul. That's foul. You know your God told you supposed to give people free will. They got free will to have free this, free that, free these, and whatever they want to do, and live however they want to do. Otherwise, you're in defiance to your God. That's called sin. Take away other people's free will, that's called sin. You're going to go to hell for that. No, so I'm all for this. Hey, listen, I'm a man. I don't think, I was about to say something. I was going to say, nope, not going to say it. Nope, I'm just curious.
The whole transgender females in sports thing is really fascinating to me. You know what I'm talking about, right? In today's crazy society, there are all these boys who identify as girls in their minds and hearts. And so they do all these things to their bodies, like chop off their boobs and take hormones in order to have their bodies match their hearts and minds. Transgender females, in other words, boys who transition into girls. That's not a new thing, really. The new thing is that they are now competing in sports against girls who were just born girls, and they're kicking their asses. There's been all these cases of it happening in different sports, from wrestling to track and field, all these instances where biological males are competing against biological females in sports. And since they're males, they have more testosterone and bigger muscles and whatnot, because there are differences between the sexes. Or at least, there always has been in our society. So, people are getting pissed off, saying it's not fair to females to have to compete against males simply because those males feel female. It's been the source of outrage online for a few years. So now Congressman Greg Steube from Florida wants to do something about it. He has introduced H.R. 5603, which is the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act, which would require terms for gender in Title IX spending to be defined as something, quote, determined by a physician at birth, instead of being, quote, a person seeking to identify as a gender.
All right, I got a couple problems here. I mean, I could be off the rails. I could be. So let people live their own lives, all right? Let them live their own lives. I don't think politicians are an answer for any damn thing. I think they create more problems. The more laws you have, the less freedom you have. But the reason why people compete is because, and they call this as a male competition, that's a female competition, well, because you have an advantage, you can make more muscles. It wouldn't be fair because you got these muscles and I got to work harder, and it's not going to be a fair competition. I totally agree with that, but I disagree with every law. Every law is illegal. I'm sorry. I completely disagree with using legislation for anything. We need to delete almost all of them on the books. I mean, I think you fix it by educating people. That's my solution for everything. It's just information, right? Information. When you realize you can't have no grown man with nice hair and some nice breastises, and they cut off the thing and say, okay, well, this is a woman now. Well, yeah, it's a woman now, but doesn't mean that you compete in sports that are classified not in gender but muscle structure. See what I'm saying? Like, you gotta get past, I think you gotta get past this whole man-woman thing. We talked about it last week. You got mold out there that got 132 genders. You got frogs that flip their gender whenever they want to. There's a difference between what gender are you and if you have an ease of making muscles. You can't have a two-leg competition and expect people with one leg to compete in it. You can't have, it's like the shooting contest. The reason why they got male and female shooting contests is because it proved that most women have better high-end coordination than men. You know, I think there's probably good evolutionary reasons for that. Dude, I'm not going to get in no shooting competition with no woman. What kind of nonsense is that? Hell no. No, I need to know that you a man. I need to know that you debilitated from the brain and the eyes to your hand. You shoot shaky like I do. No, because I don't think the two have anything to do with one another. You know, if you have the muscle structure of a man, then you compete with our men. And that's not, well, okay, I take it back. That's not fair. Nope, that's not, I'm confused now. All right? This is what we do here, y'all. We just talk about stuff and we think. I'm a little confused because that's wrong. That's actually wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong because if you force the other women to compete with a woman who has muscle structure of a man, it's not fair to the other women. But if you take a woman who has the muscle structure of a man to compete with men that don't have soft tissue in certain places, then that's not fair too. I'm thinking mostly of boxing at this moment in time, because you're gonna lose every match. Every single match. We think the boxers gonna do. They're gonna target the things that has the most flesh and feeling, and they're gonna beat the hell out. No, I'm not watching that. No. You're not supposed to be hitting breastises. I'm not. I'm wrong. I don't know what we gotta do. I'm confused here. Maybe y'all got it. We gotta just create some more categories. That's it. I kind of think we should get rid of sports. I think if it's based in violence, we probably shouldn't have it as a sport to me. But you just create more categories, you know. Hey, listen, little girls wanted to play football, so what they do? They created girls football. Girls wanted to play basketball, they created girls basketball. They realized that I don't have to do this because I was born a girl. I can do anything I want to do. And so we created it, so I think you just create a transgender league. Doesn't that solve the problem? I think it does. Just have a transgender, let them compete, and so, but you got to be categorized with the people that fit in your category. And I'm all good with this. I'd watch that. Personally, I watch. The only, you know what, the last time I watched a basketball game, speaking of Mr. Bryant, was women's basketball. I love women's basketball. Oh my gosh, I can't really watch it a whole lot because I don't have time, but the last time I watched it was years and years ago, and those women play. Oh, they play. When women play basketball, they're not here to play with you. They don't do all the showboating and, you know, acting like, oh, I missed that and hold the hand for the swish and everything. Oh no, those women serious. Ain't nothing like a woman scoring. When women get scoring, you scoring on them. I think that might have been an E. I don't think it was an N. In the Bible, I think they might have got it wrong. I think ain't nothing like a woman scored against. You score against these women, you watch the NWA, these women got feelings and emotions. They get aggressive, they get angry. But the men, they always just, everything's like showboat. I like women's basketball better. But I'd watch transgender basketball. Hell yeah, I'd watch it. I would, because you would, oh goodness. I mean, come on, stop it. What did I watch? What's that RuPaul show? I watched that. I was where was I? Oh yeah, I was in Florida at somebody's house, LGBTQ brothers, and we were watching it, and I was curious. I've never watched the show where the transgenders get on stage, and of course this is flamboyant. They're adding sugar on it like everybody does when they get in entertainment. But it was a great show. It was a great show. It was hilarious. Come on, you ain't gonna watch transgender basketball. I know you go to church on Sunday, but come on, act like you're not gonna watch transgender. Everybody loves some transgender because they funny as hell. There's some people, when they really pull the sugar on it, like the only thing funnier than an American in an Ass-sylum is an American who likes to dress as other things, is funny as hell, emotional as hell, and is willing to show that in public. Come on now. Who ain't watch? Oh, please, that'd be the funniest. I'd watch every game. You know what? Damn it. Yeah, the Kings, they might get me. They might get me back in the Coliseum, the bread and circus if I'm entertained. Hell yeah, I'd watch it. I'd watch it. I don't care what you say. I'd watch it. I won't watch. I don't have really time for women's volleyball. I really don't have time for men's volleyball. You get transgender volleyball, I'm going to have to watch at least one match. I'm going to have to see what's going to happen there. Because they put the emotions in it and the feelings. And they dress how they want to. I want to see free people play volleyball. Anyway. On stage, they're called drag queens. They're not transgender. Okay, that's what they had called drag queens. Thank you for educating me. Called drag queens. They got, play drag queen basketball? Come on. Stop, shoot. All I can say is that they got to do it in heels. No, that's wrong. I won't say that. I don't know. I don't know why anybody still even cares anymore. Like, it's stupid. We didn't care as children. You shouldn't be caring now. Let people live their own free life. They want to play this, that, or the other. Let them play. Support them. I mean, everybody should be in support of anyone living the life they want to. I don't know why anybody would be against that. Somebody got a good argument. I'd love to listen to it. Why would you be against that? Why would you be against somebody wanting to live a life that makes them happier? I think most of the men pretending to be women are competing against them in sports, or just doing it for wins. I agree. Right? That's why I go to work, Courtney. I go to win. I agree. I don't disagree with that. That's true. It's a true statement. It may not be popular, but it's true. That's why we go to college and go to school. You send kids so they can compete better than everybody else. And if you can compete in a sport that you got an advantage, that's what you're going to do. You know, there are people with sports who take steroids because it gives them an advantage. So absolutely true, 100%. Don't doubt that one bit. You know, that's why we put our kids in schools that the poor kids can't afford to go to. So it lets our kids compete better for jobs because that's the system. The system. 1871. Ass-sylum. All right, I'm done with the news. I really don't see anything else. Jimmy Dore, a bipartisan bill means we'll see an extra big screwing of the American people. Yeah, well, Jimmy Dore, that happens the screw gets bigger and bigger. The screw, they literally pick a new screw. Every single president gets bigger and bigger, no Vaseline. So that doesn't surprise me. I don't really need to know what the bill is. If it's bipartisan, that usually means it's about killing and murdering some people and stealing their resources or embezzling from the American people or hiding some secret technology from them. So I completely agree. If it's bipartisan, it's bad. If it's bipartisan, it's horrifying. That's the world I live in. That's what I've seen for 40 some damn years. All right. I really don't need the details. I don't know what that is. Trump's here. Oh, this might be an example of clickbait. Trump, first string president to speak at the March of Life. Clickbait. That's the reverse clickbait. Why? Because that's the first president. I love Trump. Why Trump make you feel good, indoctrinate you, make you feel, reinforce the fact that he's this angel come again. And it's the reverse of the anti-clickbait. Something about racism in Trump or something about something else in Trump. It's clickbait. I really don't care. I don't care. Why would I be worried about the March of Life in America and America doesn't respect any human life? Why would they do that? Why would I watch that? If America doesn't respect any human life, they just respect profit. We are literally the Ferengi. If you ever watched, what was that? Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, the Ferengi, a race of people, and all they care about is greed. You had the rules of acquisition. I used to watch that as a kid. The rules of acquisition. God, I didn't know that was actually going to be the country I lived in. Everything was about profit. Everything. They were a race of weird-looking people who everything they did, it had to be about making the most profit. And that's actually what America is. So we don't respect human life. So now I have no interest in a march for life in America. Besides, I think if I'm understanding the indoctrination right, March for Life, it probably has to do with abortion. You probably know. And I'm not interested in anybody who's fighting against abortion, who are doing late-term abortion, sending young kids to go die in wars at the age of 18 and 19, right? Oil companies and banks and so have you. If you're okay with poisoning the kids with chemical companies and water and fracking and oil and pesticides, if you're okay with abortion by chemical and big pharma, then abortion by doctor is no different. That's how I feel. So I'm not interested. Second, Conagra virus. Karaoke virus. Woo! Case in Chicago after a woman's trip. Not interested. There are too many other killers that Conagra virus isn't even in the top 200. So I don't care about karaoke virus. It's karaoke because everybody in the media is repeating themselves. Here's the new thing to be scared about, Americans. Give us your rights. And besides, they already did the thing we predicted anyway. And it's funny, they're like, oh, yeah, some prophecies are not prophetic. Sometimes you're just paying damn attention. Obama with the, I guess it was Zika. right? So we speculate that last week. Well, it wasn't speculation, it was historylation. You know, they give you a fear to embezzle money or steal rights. They gave you the fear. Everybody's scared. Meanwhile, no one's thinking, well, wait a minute, more people die from bee stings, more people die from falling off of curbs and Canoga virus, but they jump in with the whole karaoke virus. Everybody repeats it, get all the fear going. And Trump just signed a bill, I think somebody said this weekend, just like Obama did. Obama was 1.8 billion. I don't know how much Trump stole. And they give it away to these massive companies. They're criminal corporate friends on Wall Street, as George Carlin put it. That's why I don't worry about it. I just look at it, I'm just like, yep, we've seen this before. We saw this episode and we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. All they do is steal your money and your rights. It's not actually money because you ain't got no money. America's broke. It's debt. They literally just pass that buck down to your children so your children will be enslaved to the same bankers. So I'm not interested. There's always the same thing happening over and over and over and over again. Obscure lives matter. Kevin, you know what? I'd say obscure lives matter the most. I'd say the most. Good morning, brother. I would say that the people that we're told not to give a damn about, they probably matter the most. Let me see. Rocky Time, Smooth Stones. Yes. Rocky Time, Lori, I'm gonna say yes. I have no idea what that saying means, but I'm gonna make something up on the fly. I'm pretty good at that. In rocky times, you want to be a smooth stone. You want to be a smooth stone. Because in the stream, why? Because the rocky, sharp, sharded stones in the stream have not been there long. They're freshmen. They're sophomores. They have no idea. The water hasn't rounded them out and made them nice. This might be a good analogy. I'm making it up as I go, like I haven't heard that ever in my life. But, you know, a stone that's been in the river, a person that's been in America, a person that's been on the planet a long time, they become smooth. The older people get, the more relaxed and calm, for the most part, they get. The more they understand how the system works, the smoother they are. And these rough people, these outraged people, the jagged people, it's obvious that they just got put in the stream, that they have no idea that the water's going to win in the end. Water always ends in the end. Water will erode every single rock. That's why they had to do it with the Japanese. They got the water torture where they just drip a dot of water on your forehead. Doop, doop, doop. To a fool, they'd be like, you know, oh, you're not going to kill me with no water, man. You keep dripping that dot of water on your head. After about a day, you got no skin. After about 2 days, it'll like start itching, getting down to the skull. After I don't know how long, don't get me lying, a couple days, it'll be just drilling a hole right through your head. The water always wins in the end. Banks always win. System always wins. I'm not interested in the left side nor the right side because both of them work for the system. Struggling creates strong personalities. Yes, it does. It absolutely it does, Christine. Iron sharpens iron. Absolutely. True statements. True statements. Very true statements. As Lori proceeds to tell me that that's not even close, Gerard would admit. That's not You made all that up. It wasn't even about that. It's so out to lunch. But it was a good analogy. I think it makes sense. All right. That's it. I don't see anything else. I was like, Huawei, you can't have a Huawei and on a planet that you got people. You shouldn't have a Cisco either. You can't have no damn 5G when all the creatures are actually based in microbiology and use magnetism to like eat food and digest things and sweat. You can't have a 5G. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Air Canada unveils Airbus amid Boeing groundings. Why are we still making airplanes based in fossil fuels and JP4 or 5, 6, whatever it is up to now? That's stupid. Kobe just died in the airplane. You know the government has these UFO craft. We already know that. I'm not saying the aliens don't exist. I'm just saying the vast majority are probably United States aircraft. They just don't let you fly them. I think that's an atrocity. I don't think people should keep dying in helicopters when governments keep war technology secret. I think that's stupid. I think that's low vibe. We're Susan. That's it. I don't like this guy. I love this guy. I don't like him too much. It's Steve. Who's this guy? He's only RT. He's too tribal. He says very true things, but this guy above my head, above my cranium, he just says too many things that are just too damn tribal. He's obviously working on disaster capitalism, but yeah, I guess is that his name, Steve Mossberg? On slanted, biased, inbred coverage on the left. Yeah, because he's talking about left. See, I don't want to watch it. Clickbait. Once again, I said it right there. He's talking about the left or the right. So now I know he wants me to think more like the righties. I don't want to think like the righties. I don't want to think like the lefties. because the righties are right about what they're right about, and lefties are left, they're right. They both right. They both right if you got some common sense in your mind. But you're a fool. I think you're a fool if you're on either side. I don't believe in conflict theory. I don't believe in we should fight each other, put all the poor people on each side. That's like pit bulls. All your government is, they're just dog fighters. That's all they are. And they ain't even making the money. They get this pit bull against that pit bull. They put them in the match. They starve both of them. They make them angry. They put hot pepper and sauce in their food and convince them if they put it on their balls, they can taste it. And they get them fighting. They get, you know, they all want to win. They want the popularity. They want the power. They want the money. They want the best jobs. They want whatever. And the left beat the right, the right beat the left. But the trainers always win. Both sides, both of them, because both of them get paid in dog fights. In the big dog fights. That side gets paid. That side gets paid less. It's like boxing. So the politicians, they get paid because they got y'all fighting. Y'all rip each other to shreds. But they both got paid. They're both going to get great retirements in bunkers when the asteroid comes. And the people who actually run the dog fights, who actually own it all, who don't even go to the dog fights, the bankers and Rothschilds and Rockefellers and Mellons and Carnegies, they always win. So anytime I see clickbait like that, I really don't care. I don't want to watch it because this guy, I think that's his name, Steve, he just wants to kind of explain, maybe that's not his name. I don't know his name. But he always talks from the right, and I don't really care to hear it. I like impartial stuff. I like it when you're basically saying both sides are criminal organizations and they're corrupt and they all work for the same industries at the top, so odds are they probably do the same damn thing. That's that reasoning stuff we were talking about earlier. Common damn sense, critical thought, reasoning. Your government's a corporation. Everything they're gonna do is for profit. That's why they got two parties only. So you only got two ways out, and both ways out, they got something that they're gonna kick you in the nuts with. ISIS wife returns to Europe. Norway government collapses. Norway's government should collapse, although America should collapse first. I'm a little jealous of that. People in Norway are probably like, no. I'm not. I would be like, yay. Government collapse. That's a holiday. That's the day I'm gonna be happy. Not the state government. Not state. We still need that. We need the staties. We don't need no feddies. We need the staties. The state, because people still psychopathic. They'll shoot you for rice. They'll shoot you because anything. We still need the staties, and we need the local government too. I believe in getting rid of all of them. I'm an anarchist, but we can't get rid of them right now. Like I said, we need a stage walk towards freedom. We need to be like Robert E. Lee when he freed his slaves before Lincoln and everybody else. They don't like when I say that. Facts hurt. Facts hurt. That's how you know it's a fact, because it's true. It hurts. It does not feel good because you're being lied to. You know, Robert E. Lee said he didn't want to get rid of all his slaves first. He said he needed to teach them, he and his partner, they need to teach them things like budgets, how to live, how to work, how to read, write, and then he freed all of them way before the war. And so now everybody's knocking down his statue. But that's what we need to do with our slavery, our plantation. You got to get rid of the feds. Got to get rid of the feddies. They have no purpose in the world. Everybody hates them. They're making the whole world hate us. They got to get rid of them. They got to go. Let the states slowly walk us back towards being free. I think we actually could get somewhere with 50 governments, 50 countries, which is what they are. Because I would always jump to the freest one. The one that's getting rid of the most laws in a responsible way. You know, not ready to get rid of, because I agree with the whole Trump thing when you say, hey, we need to get rid of regulations. We do. Because poor people need to be able to compete with these big companies and these big corporations. The reason a lot of the regulation is in there is to keep you a slave and keep you working as a workhorse, cheering to your retirement. Like that's a free life and it's not slavery. But then again, of course, you got regulations in there because corporations like to piss in water, right? Because they're all, what's it called? Negative externalities. All corporations are none of them are profitable because all the crap they dump in your drinking water, all the crap they do to destroy your environment, all the trees they murder and all CO2 and all, none of them are profitable when you look at it in a grand scheme of things. They all don't make profit. So you got some regulations that were put in place to stop that. You know, across the board, I think he's wiping a lot of them. But it's not a Trump thing. It's a government is a corporation thing. That's what corporate governments do. They got to do it for profit. So the Norway government collapses. That's a wonderful thing. ISIS wife returns to Europe. I'm not mad at ISIS. ISIS doesn't scare me. They're not terrorists. They're people who want to be left alone on their own property. They're no different than the people in America who fought for their freedom against the king. No different, except for they were started by the CIA. That's the only difference. And then we were put in conflict with them. And then we bought Christmas presents from Jeff Bezos so he could make more money, to make more technology and more AI to murder us, and facial recognition through cloud software, working with the CIA for over $500 million to enslave the next generation. All because you want a nice Christmas. All right, that's it. Canagarvirus, karaoke virus, travel bans, blah, 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 blah. I don't really care. Drink your smoothies, people. Eat healthy. Be worried about the real viruses that are murdering people. Besides, there's enough theories going around that virus is owned by the American government or deployed by the Chinese. And in their videos, they show folks in China talking about how bad it is. Yeah, I bet it is bad. I bet you it's bad in China. What's the name of that? Wuhan? In Wuhan, the guy did the video and said that people can't travel and they're shutting the power off and there are no cars allowed on the street and stuff like that. And it's bad. I agree with that. It probably is bad, but it's no different than Chicago. Ain't gonna be no different than New York City. Ain't gonna be no different than Tupelo, Mississippi. When it comes here, it's like the Chinese government is bad. You have no idea who your federal government is. Literally, you don't. You have no idea. They all take orders from international people. You have no idea what these people will do to you if they start to see the things getting out of hand. Oh, it's gonna be holy hell. I remember my brothers and I, when we used to start to get out of hand, oh, my father knew how to bring it back. Oh, he went through. So you don't be worried too about the Chinese, because it's coming for you. It's coming for you, and it doesn't mean a coronavirus. If anything, you should look at what's happening in China and say, we need to get some laws in place where we start restraining this government. All right, I'm gonna do comments and I'm gonna get out of here. Ooh, Monday, Asylum Mondays. Where my asylum at? There you go, Reagan Asylum. This is what we have right here. Everybody just pick a bed. Just don't lie. Don't pretend like we don't live in an insane asylum. We do. The only question is whether or not we're gonna stay in one. All right, we're gonna keep raising people to hate each other and rape each other and cheer football players and giving people power that shouldn't exist. I know that's the wrong sign. Shut up. I put the wrong sound on. There's the closing music. Comments and I'm gonna run. A couple of topics this morning. Adding endocrine disruptors to fragrance, plastics, lining, canned goods, etc. is a portion of singularity. I can't find a BPA dog toy either. It makes me wonder. I think my dogs are even confused. I can't find BPA dog toy. Isn't BPA that plastic that breaks down and gives us cancer? They shouldn't put that in dog toys. Adding endocrine disruptors to fragrance. Yeah, I don't. The phthalates. They shouldn't add anything to perfumes, Patty. I agree with you. They should only add things that are natural. But people buy fragrance, and so the corporations are going to do it. Lining canned goods. They also line canned goods with it. Okay, I believe they're going to do that too, Patty. People need to grow their own food, save their own seeds. I'm already planting my garden. I'm growing a whole bunch of. I got my jackfruit. I'm so happy about my jackfruit this year, Patty. It's massive. I don't know if I ever get fruit on it, but it's fun to grow in a pot. And the attention they weren't getting when they had to compete against other men. Ooh, yeah. Well, I think they'll get attention, Courtney. They just probably won't win, especially if they had a gender shift. They got a gender shift, they got other soft things, then they're not going to compete against men. And we shouldn't force them to. Live and let live. That's it, Lori. Live well and let other people live well too. I completely agree with that, which is why I'm against almost all legislation. I believe self-awareness goes a long way in lifting low vibe. Just saying. Sharon, you're just saying, but you're saying it true. That's a very true statement. The more people actually sense and become aware of what other people are dealing with, the more they realize that other people are right. And they are right. They're right in their experience, what they've dealt with, and they're trying to do something which is a right solution that we don't like. And we can help them. But that's the way you lift the low vibe, and you don't get involved in low vibe activity fighting with them. You just laugh at our circumstance and you try to do things to get them to not do the behavior we don't like. That's grown-up conversation, Sharon. That's not for the children, the popular children in adult costumes that I tend to make it in the media. Is there anything to be done to prevent the rods from breaking? This tree. Ooh, Kevin's asking that. What y'all talking about? Y'all always got your own little side conversations going. And we're talking about sharpening the rod. We do need to have protections. I think that's a beautiful analogy. right? The rod sharpens the rod, but you can't let the rods break. You can't let death occur. Right? Even Monopoly, you don't die in Monopoly. You just go bankrupt and go to prison. There's at least some limits in Monopoly. You need to put some fail safes in. Rod sharpens rods, but you know, and people can compete. I agree with competition. I don't have anything against competition. I disagree with survival of the fittest. People can compete all they want, but they can't compete over the bare necessities that are free, right? They can't compete over things that are abundant on the planet. They can't compete in a time where you have technology to take care of everybody that breaks rods, that breaks people down with abuse and conditions that make some of the most psychopathic people with warrior genes turned on the planet. That's not a system. That's a sane asylum that's profitable, making more mental illness. So I absolutely agree. If that's what you're talking about, you cannot have a system that let rods break. That's not a rod. That's not a system for rods. That's a system for a company that's, I don't know, mining, getting iron to make rods. Absolutely, it's a good one. What is, Brother Gerard, what is nutritious and delicious in your garden today? I have nothing in my garden today, Kevin. Not in the outdoors, Kevin. I live in Pennsylvania. Everything out there frozen. Actually, no, that's not totally true. My mint I still got spearmint still growing. I got parsley that's still growing. I think there are other cold veggies and herbs that are hanging on, not intentionally, they're just sitting outside in pots. But then my garden inside, oh Lord, how much time do you have? Kevin, I don't have a life. I had plants in my life. Goodness gracious, I got jackfruit, I got papaya, I got this neat little mousse of bananas, little blue banana. I got all my peppers still going. I got my stevia. I had a lot of fun topiaries and stuff, but a lot of it I eat. What else do I have? From a food perspective, yeah, lemon, lime, orange. I got all of them. I literally live in a jungle, Kevin. It's a jungle, and I got like 3 or 4 gardens. I like to grow things in bonsai. I like to grow them in pots. It's important to get healthy, nutritious vegetables, and I like to grow things that are easy to grow in my climate, Kevin. I like to grow things that never really get big, mainly because we need to eat like fresh papayas, fresh papain, and a lot of folks don't know you can grow them seasonally. If you leave them in a pot, you cut them back each year and they back bud. Papain enzyme is important. You'll never get a papaya in a grocery store that's got the papain enzyme without it being broken down by the acids. So it's important to eat fresh fruit. Let me see. We had robbed Norway of about 150 million with the last bank bailout, and they took it on the chin because of geographical location. Okay, Ms. Tree. Robbing is bad. Norway as a concept is bad because it's not Norway. It's like probably thousands of tribes that live there that want to be free. And if you put them all in a place called Norway, they're probably not going to like that very much. I know I don't. I don't like being called Pennsylvania. I'm a part of the Gerard tribe. I've not decided if we're going to bring any other warriors into our tribe. 150 million in the loan is bad because if anybody needs 150 million on this planet, then they're obviously being starved by all the other people who live on the planet. That's low vibe. We shouldn't be starving nobody. And it came from the banks, and that's bad idea. This is all a bad idea. Banks are a bad idea. We knew that from Yeshua Christ, and having one group of people printing the money and getting everybody in conflict over what they print, that's not fair. We shouldn't even have a system that's even close to that. We know money shouldn't exist to begin with. Putting people in conflict over something on an abundant planet they don't have to. And bailouts is a bad idea. You should have to bail anybody out. So I think that's all a bad idea, Mr. I don't know the details, but everything in it I don't like. Good morning, Tammy. Good morning, Matthew. I'm about to get out of here, folks. I believe free will can be destroyed with the absorption of nanoparticulates that makes you more receptive. Absolutely, Patty. I agree with that. That probably makes perfect sense, and so does 5G. Like everything we have is about control. Like all these systems are all about control. Pharmaceuticals about control. Poisoning people is about control. Poisoning their water is about control. Limiting their water and their electric and their ISP and who can drive cars. All of that's about control. All of that, since the beginning of time, the kings and lords have always created new systems to control the population. Getting people to cheer retirement and work like a slave for 60, 70, 80 years. It's all about control. Everything is literally about making us a workhorse. How to turn a human battery into know how to turn a human into a battery. The Morpheus stuff, all is always about control. I had to hit myself this weekend. I've been a bad parent, been a horrible parent. I realized I had a child didn't see the Matrix, Patty. It's crazy. I had to sit him down, make him watch the Matrix. Although he wanted to watch it, I was seeing a portion of it, and I was like, yeah, well, you remember this part? And he's like, I had never seen the Matrix. Man, you ain't seen the Matrix? Damn, I'm usurping my duties as a parent to explain to you the real world that you live in. So I got him to watch the Matrix, and he loved it. He saw the first one, the second one. I guess he'll watch the third one soon, and then the movie will come out. And they'll probably break the fourth one, because I think the first two didn't say too many things that are true about how the Western world works, the matrices that we all live in. Your orchid died, Kim. Don't worry about that, girl. All orchids die. Every last one of them. Every last one of them gonna die. All plants die. We all gonna die. Everything dies. It's not about what you do when you did that if you die, but what happened when you live. You love that orchid, that's okay. Everything dies. I think our obligation as a sentient species is we should try to elongate the life of everything. Not just us, but the orchids too. So sad for your orchid, Kim, but it was supposed to die, and there was nothing you could do to make it live on forever. Besides, I got into a great conversation this weekend. We were talking about what plants are anyway. I don't think plants are what we think they are. Again, I got my theories. Plants, if you watch the documentary, What Plants Think About, it's obvious plants are intelligent. But you can't find a brain anywhere. You can't find neurons, a dendrite connections, anything. We know they got a brain. We can't see it. Kim, I think, is phased. I do. I think plants figured out how to hide their brains from us so we wouldn't eat their brains too. We eat everything else. We're murderers. And I think they evolved to, I think they phased. Now we got the multiverse as a theory, speaking of my crazy theories. We got the multiverse, multiple dimensions, and everything's evolving to be better and better and adapt better to the environment, whatever. Now we know there are multiple dimensions. So is it possible that plants or some plants evolve a brain and how to phase it? We're still there, but you can't really see it to protect it. So it's having higher thought, but it actually is a creature that's phased. It's like ghosts. Like I got that knock earlier. I believe in ghosts. I know ghosts are there. I know they are. I don't know what they are, but I know that they're there. Energy. So why do plants make psychedelic compounds where people claim that they're seeing other dimensions and things that don't make sense? I think it's because plants communicate with different dimensions. They make compounds that allow them to communicate on wave frequencies that our eyes can't see because it's not related to our food. Like why we see plants is because we can eat plants. Maybe the brain had no nutrition, so we can't see it, or they phased it out. I don't know. But I don't think plants think about life and death the way we do. Otherwise, they'd be poisoning us a lot more than what they are. I don't know. But it's a great time to be alive, Lord, because we don't know. That's the beautiful thing. Growing up as kids, we knew every damn thing. Now we realize we don't know nothing. We are an Ass-sylum asylum. No, I didn't spell it wrong. We're an Ass-sylum asylum that don't know we're an asylum. I heard on the radio they whipped up the vaccine for it in 2 hours. Get ready for it to be mandatory. Yes, Patricia, and that's important. And Trump is going to vote for it. Trump will do it just like Obama would do it, like the Congress would have done back then. The Congress would do now with more diversity. The Senate. That is profitable, and I guarantee that doesn't surprise me one bit. I used to work in the pharmaceutical industry. I used to be trained for those times before when these epidemics happened. It used to scare the hell out of me. I remember keeping my kids. Patricia, I remember keeping my kids out of school because they scared the hell out of me in the pharmaceutical. They lie so good. Oh man, they lie. They're so good at it. Indoctrinating people. But we had to do our training where we, take these standard operating procedures, what we do in times of epidemic, that we can't leave work or we can leave work, and how our families are going to get the pills for y'all's family. That's how it works. We get the vaccines before y'all. Not the lying ones where they release the virus at the same time they got the vaccine because they do it for whatever reason, profit. But if they actually have to make one, if there actually was a real bubonic plague, that to keep the scientists working, we got to maintain the IT systems, blah, 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 blah. We had all these procedures and everything. But after I got all trained on it, scared the hell out of me, Patricia, scared the hell out of me. The next one that came along, I think might have been SARS. I don't remember. I wouldn't let my kids go to school. I said, hell no, I ain't letting them go to school. Hell no. Got people over there coughing up something. No. I kept my kids home for almost a week when SARS came out. Now I think back about it, I kind of laugh at myself. It's just like, man, The media is good, the pharmaceutical, they are so good at what they do. These people are genius. But yeah, once this is how I know we're living in the Matrix. If you're in the right spot and location, they literally manufacture a world for you, and you are just a behavioral response tool in that world. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Sharon. Lori says, what matters stays. Sounds about right to me. Good morning, Eileen. Good morning, Natasha. Lots of laughter. Don't see anything else. Lots of laughter. Gerard, lots of laughter. Okay, Susan. Yeah, we done with the news. Enough. And none of it was new. It's all old. It's all old. That's why I like principles. Let me see. It made me sense. G. I agree with you. Okay. Something made Lori sense. Whatever made you sense was a good thing. I'm way up in comments. I'm moving down. Good morning, Emil. Good morning, Andrea. Kaea, what's going on? Throw our fists from a different back. Get going. Throw our fists from a different back. Get our guns from a different rack. Need unity, not a left, no right. Yeah, well, Gaia, and you post on it a lot, and it's a very true statement, is that right now people got to stand up for each other. They don't stand up for each other. People who don't stand for anything will fall for everything. And that's the left and the right now, unfortunately, is that we know both sides are lying. We know that lies keep people popular and in power, but they want to convince you that their side's not lying, and their side is lying. They want to convince you their side's not corrupt, and their side is corrupt. They want to convince you that their side is not selling out the next generation to these bankers and war machines and pharmaceutical industries and chemicals, and they are. Right now is definitely a time to unite. We have nothing to fight over, guys. I would say, people, that's the challenge. If you're on the left or right, tell me what we should be fighting over. Tell me what's important and significant in comparison to human extinction by corporation and government. What's more important than that? I come up with nothing. Every time I think about it, I got nothing. That's the biggest problem with me being a parent, is I'm not really given much choices. I'm literally leaving kids here, so I can't agree with your lies, and I can't go along with it. Like, you believe that the Democrats are the worst things on the planet, or the Republicans are, or Trump was, or Obama was, or Iran, Iraq. I don't have time for the fantasy. I'm literally leaving human children here. One day I want to get the hell out of here and move on to that next dimension. And when I do that, I'm going to make sure I do my best to set up things so they got something better than the crap sandwich I got when I was here, which means I can't go along with childish fantasies and immaturity and all the tribalism and team nonsense. I agree with you, Guy. There's no left and no right. It's just lost and trying to find self. Unity comes with that. What unites people? We need to do more things with that in mind. Absolutely, Kim, but that's critical thinking. That's what adults do. That's maturity, Kim. That's literally a disease to the people in politics right now. Because you're qualifying things. Like, you say something and it makes someone angry at you and they want to fight you, maybe you shouldn't say that as much. But if you say something and it makes someone who's different from you want to tune in or listen or whatever, then you should do that more. That's why I like this group here. Is that for the most part, not everybody, but for the most part, people that say things will make some jokes, but the people here care. And we're not trying to really get you so outraged that you want to fight, but definitely outraged that you want to think about the world that you're in. So absolutely, if another way to say that, Tim, is that what you're doing is bringing about fruit, right? The path that you're on is bearing fruit. And you're on the left, it's bringing you closer to the right, or you're on the right, it's bringing you closer to the left, then do more of that. That's a good thing. Good morning, Brother Jack. All right, y'all, I gotta go. Good morning, Jeannie. Unincorporated lands used to be free food forests. Exactly. And they need to burn them free food forests up, Jeannie. The Democrats and Republicans need to get together and sell that stuff. Looks like Facebook died right there. Good morning, Amy. I'm about to go. I can see my comments over here. Released because of the protest. But who got released because of the protest, Jack? Let me see. I keep wanting to call it the Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to mess with. Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah, that's not gonna work in a rap. I don't think that's gonna work. All right. I guess YouTube comments died. That can happen. Happens sometimes. Gerard, grow a pawpaw tree if you can. They're the largest fruit in the Northeast and indigenous yet not sacred, as they have a short shelf life. Restore and not invasive species if you can. Miss Tree, I did and I tried and I failed miserably. I had some of that Kim in me. She's murdering orchids. Nah, I think my seeds were bad. was a guy up the street. He gave me some pawpaw seeds, and I planted them, and nothing came up. There's something weird about how you plant them. Like, you got to do them in the ground. They got to go through their cold cycle. Their taproot determines if they come up, and I did half of them in pots. No, I think I did all of them. I didn't do any of them in the ground, but they didn't come up. So like they have genetics that expires. The plant, it kills himself off if the taproot doesn't go deep enough. Like, because plants are highly evolved. They're not like us. They realize if the tap can't go down deep enough that they shouldn't grow there. They can't realize if your government's a corporation that you should expire, that you shouldn't go any further with that. They don't realize if there's not enough resources, if the bank's not printing enough and corporations aren't allowing enough resources for everybody, they kill themselves off, so their offspring, and they don't live in horrible soils where they can't grow, that are too shallow. So yeah, I planted pawpaws. Y'all see what I did there? That's why I grow plants. They teach us so much. It's so important. They're so evolved and intelligent. Not like us. Plants are not in the Ass-sylum. We're the ones in the Ass-sylum. But I did. And if you got seeds, Miss Tree, I would appreciate you sending me some. I'd love to grow pawpaws. Another one I want to grow is persimmon. I got a whole long list of stuff I want to grow. I'm not growing yet. I have my teenagers watch Sling Blade. Ooh, I don't remember Sling Blade, Kevin, but I make my kid, I'm a horrible parent. I failed in some places, but I make him watch the important show. I tried. Matrix was an important show, and I don't know how he slipped through the cracks. This is my youngest, and he's kind of spoiled, so, but that's what you do. Parents tend to do that with the last one. I got called on it many times. You're like, why are you holding that baby? He's 12. Why? I'm like holding him up like this. That's my last one. All right, anyway. U.S. built on protest, then war. U.S. built on protest, then war. U.S. built on protest, then war. Okay, I'm sorry, Lori. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Good morning, Sharon. Let's just start cheering a good bowel movement. Nothing else. Sharon, bowel movements are important. You should be having bowel movements at least once a day. If you're not having bowel movements at least once a day, something is wrong in your system. You got something in the asylum that you need to work out. Good morning, Carl. Usually it's because you're not eating the right foods. I like Gerard's interpretation much better than my somewhat snarky comment. All right, Sharon, thank you. I have no idea what we're talking about. In the population of a country of 300 million and only 20 million to vote, then your government does not represent the people. Go on, Susan, with that real truth. Real true. Real true. Sometimes I find that empowering, Susan, that people realize that this is not our government. And sometimes I think it's just because people lazy, they don't feel like it. I don't know. But we definitely do not have a government that represents the people in no way, form, and fashion. That's another great example. We've got a corporation that's in bed with other for-profit corporations, 1871. And even if the 300 million people voted, we still wouldn't control this country. It's not our country. It wasn't designed for us. They lied to us. And that's what the kings and lords, when you start looking history, like I know what Susan, you look at, but to other people, they've been doing this since the beginning, people. They've been doing it. They kill people, they steal the land, they set up a government, and they convince you that you have the power. The king, I'm a king for the people, because the kings used to do that. I listen to my people and I'll struggle for my subjects. And the kings never did that, nor is the government. I have pea seed sprouts. Eat them sprouts, Jeannie, that's very healthy. Rods are used to beat wild animals away from the shepherd's flock. Ooh, that's aggressive, Rebecca. But you need to know that, because if you swim with great white sharks and stuff like that, you ain't beating. But anyway, we don't go there. Staff is used to pull a sheep from the brambles. Ooh, the rod and staff comfort the entire herd. Ooh, good point. Good point, Rebecca. That's a long, deep analogy. So the rod portion of the staff, if you're talking about the shepherd's rod, so they use that to beat away the wolf, but they would use the hook part to pull the sheep along. I love that analogy. I'm afraid though that that analogy would be used for government, like they're pulling us to safety. And I don't think that the hook part of the staff in the Democrat or Republicans' hands is to pull us from the problems. I think the rod end, they beat the hell out of us with it. And when we go up to the cliff and they're trying to get us to walk over, and we don't want to walk over, I think they use that hook to hook on our necks and pull us off the cliff. Why? Because corporations need our meat and our wool. All right, there you go. Here, everything will grow We had no winter. All right, Christine. Yeah, no, I can't grow, right? Not right now. I do all my growing indoors. Good morning, Nicole. Let me see. Is it akin to SARS? Oh, is it mistreated? Okay, so they didn't get anywhere with SARS, so they made karaoke virus akin to SARS. I believe that. Boom, boom, boom. Plants are further evolved than mammals. As we know, they have been on the planet much longer than us. And that's, yep, Citizen Deb, I agree with you. And it's not even about my agreements. It's just a fact. The plants have been here for over 1 billion years. They have genetic expression that's far beyond ours. We have 26,000 genes. Most plants have well over 30,000. A rice plant has 50,000. They have a lot of genetic expression. They do things we do not understand. I think all sentient beings live to help evolve all. I think so, Kim. I think everything has a place, and I think anybody who wants to murder something for resources that are abundant on the planet is a fool. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. Yes, Miss Tree, everybody have a great week. The retired ER nurse that shows up at 16:05 on here is straight fire. Okay, thank you for the link, Patricia. I'll take a look at that later. All right, how do you going? Any last comments? What was the topic on this? Salem Sundays. Yeah, Salem Sundays. I think once again, it was a Salem night Sunday. Everyone took that pain and aggression from it being Sunday night because we lived in a forced labor colony and were slaves, and turned that on Kobe Bryant and the rest of the people on the planet. I think that we just need to remain calm and really think about why you're angry and you don't like your life, or you just tolerate your life. It's the living part. It's because you're not allowed to live because you don't have free will, because we are a plantation. We need to stop taking our Sunday night aggressions, because we hate the fact that tomorrow is Monday, and turning against basketball players who just were born in the right spot, could jump higher and became a little more popular than what we are. And we also don't need to blame it on little girls who get together with football teams or basketball teams and have sex with them, because it's profitable in their world to do that. The problem is the system. Much love, sweet times to everybody. Talking about some pawpaws, and I got to get going. So nobody has the last word for us. So I'll get it. No, wait. Let me see. I like the way you talk in quotes. Okay. Is that Patty got a last word for us? What Patty saying? The very old song goes, picking up pawpaws, putting them in a basket. That sounds familiar, Patty. All right, how you going? Y'all have a great day, Gerard. I'm out. Love y'all to death now. Bye-bye. Focus on the principles. Try to ignore the people. The people are just side effects of the systems and all avatars. I'm out of here. Y'all have a great day. Good week. Bye-bye.